You can't break me or erase me. I'm not alone, I've got all my friends. They inspire me to be young and free. Now I'm strong, there's no stopping me. But follow me, follow me, but follow me. I'll take you to a place that you would rather be. Follow me, you would rather be. Follow me tonight. You only live once, baby, that's the life, that's the life. Wanna feel alive, we're on top of keep myself in the dark, shadows watching over me, over me. You flicked the switch, made a spark. From then on I wore my heart upon my sleeve. With you I bear all the scars. I was left with paper skin. You let me in a different home, broken start. Baby, where do I begin? I begin rising up. We touch the sky. Won't be promising that I won't ever let you fall. We could build unlimited stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Oh, like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, you found me after the fire, like a diamond in the rough. We're strong enough, raising the bets, pushing higher, risking everything for us. It's all for us. Rising up, we touch the sky. Won't be promising that I won't ever let you fall. We could build unlimited stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, keep rising up just to fall down, keep rising up just to fall down, keep rising up just to fall down, down. We could build unlimited stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards.
Hello once again and welcome to EPT Retro as we continue to take a retrospective look at the earlier seasons of the European Poker Tour. I'm James Hartigan alongside Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my member berry babies.
And Joe, we are narrowing the gap. We've heard a lot in the last 24 hours about narrowing the gap, and that's what's happening as we get ever closer to real time. We move into 2011. There is now only a 9-year difference between our retro content and where we are today. And we are going back to one of my favorite destinations on the tour as far as the quality of poker and as far as the entertainment of the shows we produced from that particular destination. I'm talking about the Atlantis Resort and Casino on Paradise Island, because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about PCA 2011. January of that year, Joe. And I know you were there.
I was there. I think I was there for contract negotiations. I think I was there for, hey, We like the big game. We got some other ideas in mind. I remember my agent writing down a number and sliding it on a piece of paper to the person doing the negotiations for PokerStars, and that person laughing. I remember a lot about the 2011 PCA.
I distinctly remember appearing on your podcast. I think you were hosting Poker Road Radio from the PCA, and I remember making a guest appearance on that show.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was like, it was the only reason I got to go there, because it was like PokerStars wants to talk to you, and we'll do the podcast from there. And we did like a couple other things for Poker Road down at that point. And yeah, it was, look, I'm actually really looking forward to this particular episode, because this was probably the last trip that the PCA was pure fun for me. Even though
it became really intense work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to say that this one was fun. This was actually a very stressful event for me. The first thing to say, by the way, let's just talk about the PCA from an objective perspective. This is the biggest that it ever was. We have reached peak PCA. We are now coming into 2011, and we know that we'd reached kind of peak poker boom. We know that there was this war raging between PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker for dominance of the American market. You had Full Tilt announcing that the Onyx Cup was starting, which was a series of 100k buy-in events. So this was the PCA where they added the 100k Super High Roller, which was won by Eugene Kachalov. And it saw the biggest number of entries that we ever saw in the 10k main event. 1,560 players, generating a prize pool in excess of $15 million and an advertised first prize of $2.3 million. This was huge. This entire festival from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, this is how big it is, right? And I don't think we draw enough attention to this. It's part of the European Poker Tour. That's how massive the PokerStars Caribbean adventure was. It was the destination that bridged the gap between the poker players that PokerStars marketed to around the world. And that's really what did it. It got the Europeans, it got the Americans, it pulled from Asia, it pulled from other places around the world. And this really was neutral ground, right? It was about the only place that was neutral ground, that nobody had a home field advantage, maybe the Floridians a little bit, but that's why it was so attractive.
And by this point, it had become what we referred to as a Nexus event. It sat on the EPT, it sat on the LAPT, it sat on the North American Poker Tour. The NAPT was going strong at this point as well. The reason why I approached it with a certain amount of trepidation is, and I have to give a little bit of background here, in 2010, ESPN took the decision to actually experiment with live streaming the World Series of Poker main event. Now, one thing where I believe America has always been behind Europe when it comes to broadcasting poker is in terms of live streaming. You know, if you think about the fact that EPT Live debuted in 2007, long before there was a Twitch, back when YouTube was just a VOD platform, you had to create your own portal, eptlive.com, that later became pokerstars.tv, and it was taking the Americans a long time to catch up to the value of live streaming poker. And as an experiment, ESPN3 did the World Series of Poker main event final table cards down that year. I hosted that stream. Pleased to say that it kind of brought me to the attention of the bosses at ESPN, and when they took the decision to not just live stream but broadcast on ESPN2 the final table of the PCA main event live on a delay with whole cards up, I was chosen to anchor the coverage alongside Daniel Negreanu. And therefore, I was a little bit stressed because the pressure was on, right? Not only is it no longer just on the internet, no longer is it just on TV, but it's going on ESPN in the States.
American TV.
Exactly. So actually, all the Americans got to see was the final table live. But for the European audience, they got to see the multi-day coverage that we've become used to with our EPT TV shows. And in fact, I believe the action with these shows starts on day 3 of the main event. There were 6 days played in the 2011 main event. It's going to take 6 days to get from 1,500 players to a winner. And at the point that we join the action, there are fewer than 175 players remaining as they play into the money, down to the final few tables and beyond, and we have got this guy the 2003 World Series of Poker main event champ on the feature table.
Then I can't tell you good luck anymore.
And as is customary, Elke's on the first feature table.
How lucky is that out of 1,500? Well, again, it's day 3, so it's not quite 1,500 people left, but it's still probably, what, 600 people left?
I mean, it is ridiculous when you think that Elke was on the feature table in London. Elke was on the feature table in Barcelona. Here he is again, but at this point, he's Mr. PCA, right?
Yeah, you got to pick Elke. At this point, Elke is the reason you pick the table. Moneymaker is just bonus.
Yeah. So Elke folded at the 7 deuce. Blinds right now are 3,000, 6,000, and Moneymaker's got King 9. David Tuthill has Moneymaker dominated, King 10 in the small. And that is a 3-bet to 38.5K.
The epitome of the American online poker player right there.
Is it Dave or David?
Either way, I don't care. Whatever you want.
That's so sick.
Moneymaker's
You can do more
tutting
shiny.
Tuthill.
You can call me Dave, I guess.
You look like a nice fellow.
Thank you.
What would you do if I raised you?
My friend played with you in the main this year, and he said you were a sicko. It was like playing with an internet kid. Is what he
I
told me.
try to be an internet kid.
Just because you spent a lot of time on the internet does not make
here
you an
goes
internet
sicko.
kid.
Wow, I'm not
Moneymaker
expecting that.
4 bets with the worst of it.
The whole nice speech and everything, I thought for sure you were folding.
It's always good in
You
poker
should
to do
have.
things they don't expect.
Wow.
Please tell me Tuthill sticks it in his eye.
That's so sick.
Yep. I don't see how he can,
Take
though.
your time. Jacks is a big hand.
Oh my God, you're messing with my mind so bad.
Ah, gets a fold.
Okay. That's gotta be a 3.
I
Right?
hate him.
King, queen of diamonds. I had that too. Nice hand.
You got a king too?
Yeah. God. The whole speech and everything, that's so sick.
Well, if you had a king, then you're in bad shape. I'm not as sicko as I seem.
There's no way
I
you're
three bet 4
35
good
either.
hands usually.
Usually. Just not this time, but
Yeah, not this time, yeah. I had king deuce.
Why lie and say King Deuce? Your King 9's bad enough.
So yes, we've got Moneymaker on the main stage, 2003 World Series champ, and Elke, who won the main event here in 2008. Followed up with the high roller 25K victory in 2009. He's got King Jack of Spades here under the gun. Raises to 13,000. Round to the blinds. This is a Roberto Rodriguez. And he
James,
has
this is giving me all kinds of feels
Ace 9.
watching this. I miss the tour so much, I would happily go back to Atlantis tomorrow.
I missed it at the start of the year. It was very weird to spend January in London for the first time in more than a decade. So action goes check, check on a 7-trade deuce flop. Turn card is an 8. Ace high, it's still the best hand. And Elke rivers top pair.
Mr. PCA.
Elke check flop, check turn, bets river 22,500. Does Rodriguez look like the kind of guy who's got an ace-high hero calling him?
No, but I don't know if that's... I mean that in the nicest possible way. Like, I think it would be a bad call.
He's a machine.
Sasik.
Two pair.
Elke playing just shy of 150k. Below average. Just over 170 players remaining at this point. Adam Guyat, the chip leader. Chris Moneymaker, 5th in chips overall. And there is
surprise in James's voice.
Guyat, who is the tourney boss right now.
You got it. Jacks.
And loses this hand to Zhu Zhao Yang.
Yangarang.
So we are staying on the outer tables. Faraz Jaka versus David Boffner. Diamond draw for Faraz. And he gets there, flushed by the toilet. David Boffner eliminated by Faraz Jaka.
King Deuce, such an insult. Yeah, I'd be a little salty too.
I thought I was feeling lucky today, so.
Yeah.
King Jack, King 10. Fine, King Deuce, ugh.
So we mentioned that Eugene Kachalov won the Super High Roller event, the 100k event here at PCA 2011. All in the main with jacks. Victor Ramden all in with ace 10. And the decision is on Martin van Gelder, who's got 9s.
Victor Ramden, the most baffling, longest running PokerStars Team Pro of all time.
So Ramden at risk and behind. Van Gelder folded.
Victor Ramden, he's still a Team Pro, right?
No.
I like it. Let's go all in more.
Full house for Kachalov. And Ramden drawing dead on the turn.
I think I was still writing his blogs for him back then. That was one of my many poker jobs.
Kachalov playing nearly 200k. And we're going back to the main stage, back to the feature table. Still ensconced inside the wine bar.
My cards. This is not right.
Well, Elke knows better than me. I'm just randomly naming hands. Elke actually knows.
Well, Elke knows everything
I know,
that I have.
it's so sick.
Sasik.
He's in the big blind, right? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't see it because of the blue. My bad, my bad. Yeah, I apologize. Okay, I guess I fold then.
Online kids.
That is ace-jack for Roberto Rodriguez. I get where he's coming from, though. You've got tropical-coloured chips sat on a tropical-coloured logo in the middle of the table. Tough to see the player had actually posted his blind.
Yeah.
Elke's got the same hand.
I'm going to favor Elke here.
He's moved all in.
I missed that open mouth stare. Such a weird spot with ace jack. You don't know if you want to call or not.
I'll give 3 and 4. Pick one. Pick one, Roberto.
I want this one right here, the closest one you want.
This one?
Yeah.
Wow.
I want the other one.
I don't like playing with him.
We never played. We never played.
There's a reason for this. If I see he's registered in a tournament, you just unregistered. Elke's gonna win. Why even register?
Elke now playing 165k.
Was quite true for a while.
And to the outer tables where we find Jake Cody in action against Brandon Myers.
Oh.
And Myers wins that hand from the former EPT Deauville champion. Hey, talking of EPT champs, we've got Toby Lewis.
Oi, oi. enjoy.
One Villamora at the start of Season 7. The Season 5 Grand Final champion, Peter Decorva.
Wow. Quite literally needs a new pair of shoes. Somebody.
Shoes. If it wasn't
Top
for the
that
shoes,
guy.
I'm playing this hand.
Yeah, first my hand. I thought it was a diamond. Gotta be good.
Instead of
You want to give him a double hand.
That guy's got kicker problems.
Hey. So this
How much do I have to pay for poker lessons, Elton?
was Elky's 10th cash in an EPT
give it.
main.
That's how good he is. You can't give away it.
Can't give away the secrets.
Ace-9 for Michael Gagliano.
Gags. Love me some gags.
Now, are you just making this guy a character, or do you actually know him?
No, I know Mike Gagliano. I've done commentary with him before at the Borgata.
It's sometimes hard to tell.
Well, no, I mean, look, that's one of the things about our jobs is you got to make somebody a character. But yes, I do know gags.
So we've seen a call from Rodriguez on the button with King 5 suited. Elky in as well from the big blind with the snowmans. Num-num. And we've got a 9 high flop with 2 spades. That's a pair and a flush draw for Rodriguez.
And Elke has been outflopped by Gagliano as well. Top pair, top kicker. What can go wrong? As you know, nothing.
So Elke made it 18.5. Gagliano raised to 40.5.
Cool.
Rodriguez is in.
So Gagliano's going to know at this point which turn cards are bad for him. Elke knows he's in really bad shape.
Yeah, he
he's out
folds.
here.
Heads up to the turn. Deuce of Hearts, a safe card for Ace-9. Gagliano now a 2-1 favorite.
Gagliano, on a wet board like this, doesn't have that much to worry about. Yeah, he's just going to try to protect the equity he has. He doesn't have to worry about, he has to worry about some sets. That's about it from the button. Does not have to worry about 2 pairs very often at all. Shouldn't have a flop straight already. Should have a hand exactly like he's got. And Rodriguez is going to call with a pair and a flush draw.
He's got 13 outs.
What do you think, James? Does this dealer have a gag reflex?
The Jack of Clubs is a safe card for Gagliano. That's more than a double up. Rodriguez not eliminated, just taking a walk.
Man, nothing says 2011 more than a massive field poker tournament and an Ed Hardy jacket.
4K, 8K blinds now, with around 145 players remaining.
My wife doesn't play poker at all, but 2 years ago I went through a span where I busted out of 7 tournaments in a row with pocket aces, where I got it all in pre-flop. And so I'm crying to her a little bit, just being, I can complain to her all the time, whatever. So she just looks at me deadpan and goes, well, just don't play him anymore. I was like, baby, I love you.
It's got to be an amazing feeling, like to just fold aces pre-flop.
I had a guy fold aces to me in 2005 in a tournament pre-flop.
Wow, Moneymaker. Notoriously run bad.
I'm all in.
Elke all in from the button with Ace-Jack.
Yeah, which wife was it he was talking about there, by the way?
8 high, any good?
No.
Is that the only one you saw?
It's a heart.
Is that the only one you saw?
Oh yeah, probably. The one was probably another ace, but I didn't want to look because if it's another ace and I don't get called, I'd be sad.
The thing is, if I don't call, it's a deuce. If I do call, it's the other ace.
Yeah.
You think Moneymaker's ever heard of Schrodinger?
Heading to the outer tables where it seems we've got some controversy, Joe.
Goes raise and goes like this. No, I did not do that. I did not do that. Ask him. What did I do? What is he doing? Are you serious?
Totally changed the story. That's what I thought.
Ted lost.
He brought them back, and then he put that on score. They just weren't past the line.
I play a lot of poker. I've never gotten angry once.
What is Giuliano Belluccio complaining about?
That's pleasant? Wow. But I'm done with it. Enjoy.
All got a little bit testy there with Eddie Sabat.
Do we know what it was? No, just to set the stage for future tussles.
Maybe. Hey, it's Bolivar Palacios.
Look, everybody.
In a hand against Dwight Pilgrim.
Dwight knows there's no more cards to come, right? Had a strong draw.
Nice hand.
That's how you play poker, boys.
That is how you play poker, according to the Pilgrim.
That's how you gotta live life, man.
The Pilgrim makes like the Nina,
It's only a game.
Pinta, Santa Maria, and ships.
Eugene Kachelov all in again with jacks. Flipping against
Jacks
Alex
again?
Santiago's ace-king.
This guy loves jacks.
And again, jack on the flop. Doesn't flop a full house though this time, and Santiago does have a straight draw.
Queen of spades for excitement.
Does anyone have a spade?
No queen on the river, so Eugene Kachelov doubles up.
Good day so far for me.
Hovering around the 400K mark.
Okay, just let me know when you're gonna play a pot so I can fold.
Michael Gagliano has ace-10. Raises to 17,000. Moneymaker with aces. Don't forget what your wife said, Chris. Fold them.
Don't play aces, Chris.
3 bets to 42,000.
Put those sunglasses on. What a goober. At least wear them the whole time like Elke.
That was your shot, Elke.
I didn't feel so good about that one.
A 4-bet from Gagliano to 98K.
Oh, Gags.
Moneymaker
It's gotta be,
plays it cute, just calls.
yeah, it's gotta be setting off alarm bells when Chris so confidently flats a 4-bet.
$52,500 from Gagliano.
Chris is gonna raise now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna put Gagliano on Ace King. Really don't know what else you can put him on to raise here. Oh, Gags, what are you doing?
All in and a call. And Gagliano drawing pretty thin, just 6% chance of survival.
Oh, Moneymaker plays it totally face up, and you walk right into the buzzsaw.
Well, you had to take aces out of his range. After that anecdote, you think he's folding them pre.
That's true. And that's why exactly why he told that story.
Good point, man.
Thanks, man. Good luck, guys.
Well, that is Michael Gagliano eliminated in 138th place, cashing for $20,000 in this record-breaking PCA main event from 2011. 1,560 total players, prize pool of more than $15 million. Eugene Kachalov in action again. The other two players in the hand, Ana Marquez and Eddie Sabat.
What do you got, Jacks again, Eugene? Huh? What do you got, Jacks? Is this a sweat with Ana Marquez?
Well, she's got a pair of aces, calls the bet. Eddie Sabat is out. Action goes check, check on the river, and Ana Marquez shows a winner as Kachalov mucks.
Guess it wasn't Jacks.
And I'm guessing that a table is, well, a number of tables have clearly been broken because that is a new lineup. Those guys weren't sitting together before, and we're never going to get to know what it was that caused that row between Eddie Sabat and the other guy.
Ted Lawson. James, was it just me or did that trophy flower combination look like a headstone?
It's a wave.
Here lies
trophy.
the PCA.
Yeah. It's a ridiculous trophy. But do you know what? Again, with the benefit of hindsight, with rose-tinted spectacles, there's something quite delightful about it.
Well, did it say the big blind was 6K? Is Elke shoving 19 bigs with sixes?
No, it's 4-8.
Okay.
Well, this is Pavel Zuev with pocket eights. And looks like he is going to reshove Christopher Moneymaker with ace-king of diamonds. Big slick suited.
Does anyone know where Pavel's from?
Hi, Cole.
Cy call from Moneymaker. Round to the blinds.
Anybody have a pair?
That's
Which ones
kinda
have pairs? Hope we both have pairs. Sixes? Hope we have like eights.
Solid read, Moneymaker.
Nice. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, this is Chris Moneymaker's hand every time.
No, this is Elke's hand. This is Elke's special right here. Eight. I'm sorry, man. You're dead. It's Elke. It's Elke.
That's not very good. I don't like my spot now. But I got the heart though. I got the heart.
Yeah, you do have the heart.
The heart.
Moneymaker has them both covered. There is the prospect of a double KO here.
One-time chip now?
Yeah, come on.
And it is an ace-high flop.
Scary 2 cards afterwards.
I take a free.
Why?
Oh, 7 would be sick. 7 of diamonds. Oh, he called the 3. No, no, don't get. I told you it's Elke's pot. What do you feel on the river, Elke?
I mean, I'm not any card will any deuce 7 or 6 will do. 7 would be nice.
Jack of spades, I like.
Always coming 7 for Elke.
I like the 7, yeah.
What's that?
7 is supposed to be lucky too.
I like the deuce, so Elke doubles up and Zuev and Moneymaker chop.
Good game, Chris.
So that is a double KO. Elke out in 126th place. Pavel Zuev out in 125th place, both cashing for $20,000. Moneymaker on a tear and chip leader in the PCA main event with more than 1.2 million.
I'm winning races. I can actually win this tournament now. Elke's gone.
Yeah, you have a shot.
Dude, if he won that pot, I would have just cried.
Should I text him and ask him if he remembers being chip
Thank you for
leader
not crushing my soul. Sorry, man. Good
after
game.
that hand?
Well, we're going to go to the outer tables, Joe. A couple of players. Oh, first of all, we're going to say goodbye to Jake Cody. Bye, Jake. And now we have Toby Lewis. Oh, just checking on this stack, 448,000. Peter DeCorva versus David News.
Peter of the Corver. Hey, David.
Not the best one.
I got pocket 5. What's this guy's name, James?
David News.
Hey, David, where's Huey Lewis, huh? Where's Huey?
Well, I think we're coming back to the main feature table, and it's time.
I run pretty good to this tournament so far, son.
Back in time?
To sweat.
It's 2011.
With Chris
Yeah, that's a long
Moneymaker.
time. 8 years, I would probably be over.
I'm just saying it's a
too.
new year. The year of run good.
Year of run good. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Can you play a hand as well as Chris Moneymaker is the question.
Oh, it's such a loaded question.
Oh,
Chris has his own.
Redmond Lee's
Yes.
joined the table.
Oh, man, Redmond. Hey, Redmond, where's Methodman? Huh? Where's Methodman, Redmond?
So Redmond Lee was a regular analyst on Sky Poker back when we used to do those TV shows. He's opened here to 20K. Moneymaker's hand is 7-6 suited. How do you like this call from the hijack, Joe?
I'm fine with it. It's not necessary, but look, let's try to paint this in a positive light for Chris. If you're at a table where there's not a lot of three betting and a lot of multi-way action, it's okay, I think.
That's a
Chris's flop.
pretty horrible flop for 7-6 of spades.
It's a pretty horrible flop. I can see Chris trying to take a stab with this now, but also I do prefer, I prefer just checking back, like Redmond not continuing. I feel like he's going to continue with all of his hands that totally missed on the ace-high flop. When he checks twice, I think it sort of polarizes him to hands that are now nothing and hands that have really, really hit this board hard. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this. Fold. Fold. Fold pre. River. Fold. Yeah, I think Lee just boated up, honestly.
Moneymaker clearly has a plan.
He's not going to want to show down 7 high here, which
No.
I think is unfortunate for him. Oh, he does.
I got kings.
Kings, okay, fine. Very strong hand.
I don't know what I missed, but I missed. Nice. Thank you.
Methodman would be proud.
Moneymaker still chip leader with a 7-figure stack. Oh, I see what you mean about the flowers, the better flowers that the Wave Trophy is resting on. Yeah, it does look a little bit like a graveyard. 5K, 10K blinds. Moneymaker opening to 23K with Kojak. Who's this fella?
I literally have no idea because he's so hidden.
Wesley Weems.
When there's trouble, you call WW. I don't know. I got nothing.
4-3-3 on the flop. King high, still the best hand.
Not bad, son of a birch. A weem away, a weem away. Weems memes from Sam Sam. This is good stuff, guys. Where were you 9 years ago?
Okay, well, Moneymaker's calling. The stubbornness. And inside straight draw for Moneymaker's opponent as he bets 85K.
Mini stop and go here. With the under the gun, huh? I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know what Chris is supposed to have here except for an overpair.
And Rivers top pair.
My goodness. My goodness. I mean, I don't really know what Weems was doing here either.
No.
Somehow Chris keeps playing these hands incredibly strangely against other people playing worse hands even more strangely.
Sometimes that's all it takes to win a poker tournament.
I think that's what happens when I play against Chris. Like, he plays terrible, but I play slightly worse.
Win percentage 20%, table average 12%, and Moneymaker is no longer chip leader. A different Chris sits at the top of the standings. Chris Oliver, I'm Donuts. And there he is. We know Chris is still playing online. He had a lot of success during WCOOP. Meanwhile, Ted Lawson all in with fours, and Eugene Kachelov has jacks again.
Nobody has won this much with jacks their entire careers, let alone in one tournament.
Oh, I guess Ted Lawson and Eddie Sabat were still at the same table. And a
Yeah,
full
Eugene
house
just
again, Eugene?
What? Eugene just got put in the middle of them.
I see. Anywho, we're still not going to find out what that spat was about because Ted Lawson's just been KO'd in 96th place. And Eddie Sabat loves it.
It's okay if you want to smile.
Well, next year. 265. 265.
What a ridiculous wall of chips.
Not good at folding.
That is Brian Colin.
Oh, yeah.
That's Peter DeCorva.
We had 3 all-ins.
So we have got Dmitry Stelmach all in with King 9. Peter DeCorva all in with Ace Queen. Colin has them covered with 9s. And it is a King Jack 6 flop. So at this rate, Stelmach's going to survive.
This is such a stupid game.
And 5.
So
Only 5.
Colin still winning the side pot against DeCorva. Peter could still be eliminated unless he can hit on the river. It's a blank, so Stelmach gets a triple up. Peter DeCorva is eliminated. Brian Colin wins the side pot. This guy, by the way, huge Joe Stapleton fan.
Brian Colin?
And over to Chris Oliver's table, where he's got jacks. He has re-raised Tom Middleton. Midi all in with kings.
Sorry, Chris. I think Eugene's got all your jacks.
Nope. I thought you were apologizing to Chris Moorman because Midi's about to lose more of his money.
Onward, Mormon soldiers. On to the next one.
Midi just happy to be here as he busts in 85th place. Does cash though, $23,500.
And that's how you get a huge, huge stack at a poker tournament. Get it in bad. Rake in chips.
Chris Oliver now up over 3 million, consolidating his chip lead with 84 players remaining now.
That dude just took every dollar out of Chris's pocket.
That was really weird to see.
He was just wiping chicken wings on him.
Oh. Here, have a saucy shirt. So this is an under the gun raise from Michael Pesek with tens. Redmond Lee folds the small blind. Christopher Moneymaker is in the big blind with Queen 5 of clubs.
Oh, Chris. You know what's kind of weird is that Chris is playing kind of a modern style. Like doing things that, like, this is pretty standard now. I don't think it was as standard then, defending Queen 5 suited. Maybe it was.
Well, Moneymaker has flopped an open-ended straight draw, has backdoor clubs working for him as well. 43% equity, pretty solid.
Why do we keep looking at hip-hop Tony Kendall?
I've absolutely no idea. So Pesek continues for 32,000. Moneymaker calls. Turn card is a 5.
That's potentially very bad news for Chris Moneymaker. Okay, the lead here, I'm not so sure, is 2020 approved. You just got to ask yourself.
I'm not beat already.
Wow.
Folds tens to the turn lead. Moneymaker wins another pot. Still a top 10 stack midway through day 3 of the PCA 2011 main event.
No, so you had?
I had you beat.
Not on the flop, you didn't.
No, not on the flop.
1.5 million near enough for Chris Moneymaker. And we reach the halfway point on this day 3. So chances are we are going to have a feature table change when we come back. It does bring back a lot of memories, Joe, just seeing the PCA, seeing so many of those familiar faces. And as I said, I mean, I missed it when we didn't go there at the start of this year. And to look back on the glory era, if you like, I mean, this is the kind of final year of the boom, right? Black Friday is literally months away, so we know it's all about to come crashing down. It's just wonderful to see, and wonderful to hear you say Chris Moneymaker making moves that were ahead of the curve, ahead of their time.
Yeah, you know, it does happen sometimes. Like, look, it could be broken clock syndrome. It could be that, you know, things are so cyclical in poker. So anybody's style, something about their style is going to be right for a particular era of the way. I guess some people are just so terrible. Nothing will ever be right, but we are not going to really see those people very often. So there are some things, yeah, that Chris is doing that probably at the time seemed a little weird. They even look weird me watching it in retrospect. When I think about it, I'm like, no, this is actually kind of a thing that works. And then we also, of course, see him doing things that really aren't very good. But we do see people playing. He's managing to. His style is exploitative and it's working, I guess is what I'm saying. Even though I see those moves and I'm like, I don't know if I would do that. He's picking up chips.
Yeah. No, he absolutely is. Let's see who's at our next feature table as we continue covering day 3 of this 10K main event. Moneymaker making a deep run, but some other players as well putting in a solid performance. Eugene Kachalov, who won $1.5 million in the first ever Super High Roller. Also at Eugene's table, Eddie Sabat, Faraz Chaka, Ana Marquez, this should be a fun one.
Pereplichikov.
Let's just call him Oleg.
Sounds good. Eugene, the final table machine.
He's raised with the sailboats, pocket 4s. Ana Marquez calls with 10s. And we get an all-in here from Andrea Tringali.
Oh, wow.
7s fold, 4s fold. I don't think Ana Marquez is going to fold 10s.
I go.
Marquez! And we are off to the races. Flip that coin. King, king, 6. 10s still ahead. And Tringali is going to need to see an ace or a queen on the river. Or we'll be down to 82 players. To king, full house for Anna. Andrea Tringali cashes out for $23,500. So Chris Oliver still chip leader at this point with 3 million. Galen Hall, the second biggest stack. Moneymaker still in the top 5. Ana Marquez is in the top 10.
Cool.
And there is Moneymaker. Now on one of the outer tables. Involved in another hand against Michael Pesek.
Still picking up chips.
This is Chris Oliver versus Paolo Rink.
James, it must have been a really big deal that Moneymaker was going this deep in an event this size. Do you remember it like being a buzz?
Absolutely. We'll talk about that later on.
Okay.
62 to the king. Flush.
Oh man, what a river.
Echo.
Oh, you just dream about this in a tournament, don't you? Just can't miss.
Maybe that guy's going to come over and wipe his hands all over him again. Well, this is the guy who's currently second on the leaderboard. Galen Hall in a hand against Sam Stein. Stein, rivers a queen.
Call. Loved him in the Sandlot.
Sam Stein playing 648,000. Looks like we're going back to the feature table. And Ana Marquez still stacking chips after busting a player. Aces for Faraz Jaka.
Probably way out of his comfort zone having a hand like aces. This was the era of Faraz Jaka. Jack 3, 10, 4.
Oh, what a time for Joel Patchell to pick up ace queen.
Joey Patches about to get sewn up.
Re-raises to 68,000.
All in.
Faraz shoves. And Patchell calls. So Faraz has the dominating hand and the bigger stack. Patchell is at risk and ridiculously behind.
I really like your man purse. It's a Patchell.
At least the flush on board can't win this one. Can't chop this one.
That's true. All 4 suits are out.
Well, clubs are an interesting
Gotta be a sweat with us, right?
way out of jail for Patchell.
That was a great flop.
He'll take it.
I guess I could always go 4-5.
Looks like the outs are calculated by
2
counting things that have been folded. Only 6
Good.
clubs left.
If you're gonna do it, do 4-5, not the club.
And he gets there, rivers the club, rivers the flush. 7% pre, 7% chance of survival, but doubles up through Faraz Jaka.
Running good.
Faraz now playing 336K. So a reminder, if you are new to EPT Retro, as we go across to Chris Moneymaker's table, as we see him win another pot, that we are taking a retrospective look at old poker. So we're watching a TV show that was produced back in 2011 covering the PCA main event from that year, but the commentary is live. We're with you in real time. Questions, comments, shout-outs. Well, we don't do shout-outs, but questions and comments, you can post those.
Don't be afraid to say what's up, chat. Quite the conversation going. I'm enjoying it.
Kachalov would catch it all in the first at PCA. There we go. Dad Bod Gamer Guy's doing it old school. What's up?
I think that was out of date even in 2011.
That was a joke, wasn't it?
Jay Braverman asked, where's Faraz from? Chicago, I believe.
No, that one definitely was.
Up to 339,000 now. Well, on this next hand, Joseph Stapleton, step into the mind of Mr. Jaka. Time to sweat with Faraz.
Let's do this. And not only are we going to sweat with Faraz, I want everyone in chat just to furiously write what they think we should do. Pocket eights, what should we do? Snowman's num num. Raise. I'm going to say raise. What do you guys say? Write it quick. Write it. Write it. Write it. Write it. Fold. We got to fold. I got to raise. We got to fold. We got to raise. We got to fold. We got to raise. All in. Call. Ooh, I like that. A limp. Ship it. Shove. All right, Eddie in the small blind. What kinds of hands are people flat with in the small blind? Sometimes weak aces, mostly Broadway cards. We're going to have some pairs. We got an overpair to this board right now. Pocket eights. Eddie's probably going to check to us. What do we do then? You guys like a continuation bet? I like a continuation bet because I think the majority of Eddie's range is going to be paint. Hands like Jack 10, King, Queen, Queen, Jack, King, Jack, that kind of stuff. 34K. Ooh, someone even went with the amount. That's nice. 37K, basically the same. Sabatas, D-Negs, Cato, Kalen. That is correct. Eddie Sabata spent a lot of time hanging out on Daniel Negreanu's couch, living in the back room, stinking up the guest house.
You.
So now that an ace hits the turn, Eddie's taking the lead, firing 12,000. This is way too small of a bet for us to fold, in my opinion. Now, I do think one of the worst case scenarios is that Eddie's got a hand like ace deuce or ace tray. I don't like this river card. I do think that, oh, Eddie checks. Great. We get a free showdown. That's where I'm at with this hand. I think it's tough for us to get value from worse. Eddie's got two queens. Not really sure what Eddie's turn lead was supposed to be, although he did get value from us.
It was designed to confuse, or at the very least, instigate a debate. Looks
a
like
little strange.
We're heading to the outer tables. One of our former EPT champs is in action. Toby Lewis against Masakagawa.
Love Masakagawa.
650. That's 65.
Kagawa betting 65,000 on the turn. He's got second pair. Toby Lewis, top pair and a flush draw.
Yeah, tough to get a fold from this hand. Yeah, I got to agree with Green Room here. Toby Lewis, what's weird, he's got a shaved ear on one side and not on the other. Maybe it's for a medical reason and we shouldn't draw attention to it because that is a strange choice.
Could be he lost a bet.
Could be he lost a bet. Could be a lobotomy. We don't know. Dwight Pilgrim back in action.
Against Tim Finney. And looks like Pilgrim is heading for the exit. No, it's a chop pot. And you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot. Especially Dwight Pilgrim.
And I was riding out with it. That's your hand? That's your hand. You know what I mean? If I could do it again, I'll do that same play over again 100 times in a row.
You tell him, Dwight.
Pilgrim here escaping the persecution of having a dominated ace.
Talking of friends of Daniel Negreanu, Greg DeBora, wasn't he a Canadian team pro at one point?
Yeah, it was like Greg DeBora, Pat Pezin, and a Vietnamese guy, but I don't remember that. There was like Daniel's three, his like tag team partners from Canada.
DeBora's opponent in the hand is Matt Lichty, who folds the turn. And there is Chris Oliver, chip leader, top pair, against Scott Wilson, who's got nothing at all.
Johnny Unlucky says, I said everyone loves a chop pot at a table I was playing at. Everyone looked at me like I had two heads. Yes, but were those two heads then evenly divided amongst the people at the table?
Wilson Rivers a 9, but Chris Oliver turned 2 pair. So this
Wilson!
bet of 150,000 is going to get called, and Chris Oliver is going to extend his chip lead in the PCA 2011 main event. Just want to handle a quick question from Zeddy. Is EPT Online, is the main event going to be cards up commentary in the stadium? Yes, it is. The PokerStars Arena hosting EPT Online. 3 days of main event coverage, days 2, 3, and 4, which is the final table in just over a week's time.
Has that been announced already? Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes.
This fella.
So, here's the thing. This guy's name is actually Ionel Anton. But because in Romania they write their names round the other way, and because Anton is a very common first name, he was put into the system as Anton Ionel. And even at the point the TV shows were produced and they put the graphics on, we still thought his name was Anton Ionel.
Do you think the 2011 PCA is the reason why no one has won with pocket jacks in the last 9 years? Because every single person in this event hits a set with them?
Possibly.
I mean, things do have to even out.
The hashtag fun fact, by the way, is we realized the problem when his brother, Sinel Anton, made the final table of EPT Barcelona.
Why are you picking on me?
Oh, very good fold.
Huh?
Very good fold.
So Ionel Anton is from Bucharest.
You're Romania.
So these are the stacks of the players at the feature table at the moment. Anna Marquez, table chip leader with close to 1 million. Eugene Kachelov, the shortest stack at the table. And that is King Deuce for Eddie Sabat. That's a fold. Pocket Kings. And Anton
Get him, Ionel.
is going to raise to 32,000. Jacker calls with Jack 10. I think Patchell is kind of going for that Eric Banner in Lucky You look and just isn't quite getting there.
I mean, I guess that's one look it's okay to not quite achieve.
Kachelov has called out of the small blind. 3-way action here. And we have a 7-6 deuce flop. So Kachelov with the open-ended straight draw. Ionel Anton near enough a 2-1 favorite with overpair.
He's going to blast off on this flop, right? 58,000, yeah. Just under half pot.
Jacker's done with the hand.
All in.
Oh, well. Kachelov going to need to catch a little. Got backdoor diamonds.
Does have equity, does have outs. Immediate outs being 10s and 5s.
Good luck.
We do get a sweat card on the turn. It's a diamond, giving Kachelov additional outs.
Give me a 2. A deuce, please.
I think he'll take the 3 of spades. That will see Eugene Kachelov eliminated in 74th place. Decent series for Eugene, Joe, to win the Super High Roller event and then finish in the top 100 of the main event, which had a field of 1560.
The first ever Super High Roller.
Rest in peace, PCA trophy. 6-2 12, the blinds.
Keep expecting to hear bagpipes playing Amazing Grace every time they do that shot.
That's how Eric folded in Lucky You. Joker has opened under the gun with King 9. Queen Jack of Spades for Eddie Sabat.
See how Eddie plays this. Remember, the last hand we watched Eddie play was from the small blind as well as pocket queens, the sweat with hand. This hand more in the range of hands we would expect folks to flat with in the small. Oh boy.
Top 2 versus a flopped straight. This is going to get spicy.
Eddie's going to lead again.
Get him, Faraz. Get him.
I think this is ripe for a raise when someone leads here. I think they're going to have 2 pair a lot. They're going to have a pair and a straight draw a lot. Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack, all hands that would play it this way.
About 190.
You don't expect a lot of ace kings, 8, 9, but you're beating that. It's just kind of a dream scenario.
I call.
All in and a call. So Faraz at risk here, but a 76% favorite. Eddie Sabat has 4 outs, looking for a queen or a jack to make a full house.
Faraz isn't supposed to have king 9 that often, but he is going to have ace king a fair amount.
You okay with that?
Faraz just has to fade a queen or a jack on the river, and he doubles up through Eddie Sabat.
Eddie needs a boat. There he is.
He gets it. It's all about the jacks in this PCA main event. And Faraz Jaka is KO'd, out in 72nd place, cashing for $33,000.
Wasn't meant to be.
Eddie Sabat, with more than 1 million chips, is now 10th on the overall leaderboard. Blinds 8-16.
Even though it's not true at all, you're kind of inclined to say, and that's why you don't raise king 9 under the gun.
Pocket queens for Ana Marquez. Raises to 40K.
I raise.
Oh. Re-raise coming from Ian Anton.
Not a fan of this play. Not a fan of re-raising the undergun. Razor with most of our range. Not a huge fan of doing it with the ace 10. Ace 10 suited, I guess, a little okay, but you still have so much action behind you as well. You know, the only thing I can think is that maybe you don't get 4-bet that often because it looks so strong.
Always an ace on the desk.
I mean, what else is he re-raising you with? I think Anna can safely navigate the rest of this hand.
Wow, he checks it back on the flop. Sneaky. Improves to 2-pair on the turn.
Oh, man, how hot is this dude running right now? Doesn't even have to worry about being flatted by ace-queen, ace-king, ace-jack. I think Anna can just muck it here, depending on this bet size, unless it's, like, so small that, yeah, I mean, I think you can just let this go.
Calls the delayed c-bet of 132,000. This hand going to the river. And it is a queen, a 2-outer, 5% on the turn, and she gets there.
Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? I'm like, yeah, I think you just fold the queen, and then Anna, who's obviously a far better poker player than I am, is like, no, I don't think so, and then boop.
Wow. He checks it back. She shows the rivered set, and he's not happy.
I think that's a pretty terrible check back in general, too. You're only losing to 2 hands.
Good check.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Okay, yeah, very easy check back. He was like, I put you on pocket queens.
I don't get better than river.
I don't know how you did it.
How do you get better than river?
It's easy.
It was easy to check back the river with no further explanation.
Great explanation, yeah.
Ana Marquez 9th in chips overall. Chris Oliver still leads by a significant margin, more than 3 million. And Chris Moneymaker is on the verge of eliminating Redmond Lee, who's all in with 7s. He's run into Moneymaker's queens. What a flop for Moneymaker.
I've seen crazy things happen. I feel a bit better now. Good game, guys.
Redmond Lee cashes out for $38,000. And we're down to 64 players. Moneymaker 5th on the leaderboard. More outer table action. Elan Rua against Mike Sowers.
Mike drawing very thin.
Bets 184K. Called by Rua.
Also looking thin.
Rua 93% favorite with a pair of 8s. And the board is a brick. The river, rather, is a brick. So Rua is now 100% lock on this. As Sowers bets again, 284K. Quick call.
Snap called.
So quick. Yes, you are the best.
Rua.
Are we sure that's actually a French poker player and not a Sacha Baron Cohen character?
Grade 8. Rua.
Mike Sowers still a top 10 stack.
If Rua had celebrated slightly more than that, it would have been like over the line for me, but I understand it must be thrilling to make a call like that and rake a huge pot. But it was close for me.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
Adam Geyer has opened here with Jack 7. Queens again for Ana Marquez.
Just flatting, interesting.
It's easy. King, Queen, 3. This time she flops a set.
So many sets. You get a set. You get a set. Yes, Josh, you get a set.
Anna has
Anyone else want
raised to 180K.
I mean, she kind of won the maximum.
Yep.
She had re-raised pre-flop. She would have just won it there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening here? Moneymaker has got 2 players all in front of him. Doc Sands with ace 8.
I call.
Oh, man.
All in and call.
Sarasti with ace-king. Moneymaker calls with fours.
I'm not so sure about this call. I didn't really see how it went down.
On the floor around here somewhere.
Wow, Dr. Sands. While he was still in medical school.
The doctor is in. Pairs is 8. Ten of diamonds on the turn. Sarasti has the ace of diamonds. Moneymaker drawing thin. It's a king on the river, so Sarasti survives. Doc Sands wins the side pot.
Nice hand, guys.
And a questionable call by Moneymaker there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're two short stacks, but, you know, what's the best case scenario with fours? That you're flipping against two people? That they have each other's outs? Which is still quite optimistic.
Moneymaker in action again. This time against Wesley Weems.
No Weems, no children. No Weems, no kids. Sorry, I screwed it up. I messed it up. Roll it back.
Ah, the Moneymaker massage.
I go.
Call.
Moneymaker showing ace-8 of diamonds for the nut flush.
And he is back.
If you want to be a moneymaker, yeah.
Thank you. Not too difficult to play then.
What, no rub down?
There's the rub. So deep. Moneymaker now third in chips with 1.9 million. Max Lemansky second on the leaderboard. Chris Oliver still leads with 3.25 million. Back on the main stage, blinds at 8-16. We've got Bolivar Palacios.
He offered to take me out when we were in Panama, and I was too afraid to take him up on it. I should have. I regret it now.
Ace King for Eddie Sabat. Queen 9 of diamonds for Ian L. Anton. Ah, here comes Oleg with pocket threes. Perepletchikov, but we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to call him Oleg as we see an ENL flop, top pair and a diamond draw.
We're just going to call him Russian DJ Qualls.
Call.
Yeah, I'll say you do.
It's easy.
For once, it is easy. Oh, I can't wait for Eddie to catch the jack of diamonds.
Oh. Eddie barrels 178,000. And we get the call from Anton. Three of clubs. Eddie left with just ace high.
I mean, isn't this fantastic? This is like what you're always hoping for. Is that like if I don't improve, at least just give me 2 blanks.
Ace high.
Ace high, no good.
I don't mind the check back at all there either.
You're the flush draw too, right?
Ainsley Chariot says hello. We are doing old school retro greetings this evening. You have to say, "What's up?" Back to table sours. Mike with 6s. William Givens all in and at risk with ace 10. Flip the coin. Still almost a flip on the flop. Still a flip.
Half the outs in the deck. It's a Givens.
Oh dear, Sour's on the descent right now.
You can afford it, bro. Thank you.
Still has more than $1 million though.
You know, PCA, I think you get a lot more celebrations too because of there's room to celebrate.
It has a party atmosphere and a party carpet that you just want to dance on.
Correct.
Here comes Eric Bana from the 2007 movie Lucky You. Going to foul aces to Robert Duvall. He didn't have the Australian accent in Lucky You. He was pretending to be an American, right?
Yes. But those 2 questions are not mutually exclusive. Isn't it weird how mind-blowingly good Eric Bana can be sometimes, and then other times you're like, is this the same guy?
Yeah. If I think about roles I've enjoyed Eric Bana in, they tend to be the supporting roles. If I think of, like, Funny People, if I think of the Star Trek movie where he's the villain.
Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
I can think of one movie I loved where he was the lead, which was what I like to refer to as Men on Fire.
I did not like Munich.
No, I think
Again, because I don't think he's very good at carrying a film.
Yeah.
Anywho, this isn't actually Eric Bana. It is Joel Patchell. 9-5. He is behind here. He has flopped a straight draw. Adam Geyer, 70% favorite with 10s.
Yeah, nice bad lookalike here too from Kyle. It says there's a little Adam Scott there also. What's this guy's deal?
Bet of 115,000 from Geyer.
All in.
And Patchell decides to move all in with his draw.
So Geyer might be a little afraid of a queen here, but it doesn't really track that he would have a random queen that often. But Geyer does decide, just in case. I guess it tracks that he's going to have a queen a little bit more often than 9-5.
Oh, it's the original Hulk, you know. And we're going back to the outer tables. Moneymaker in action? No. It's It's Greg DeBora, all in and at risk with sixes, flipping against Wesley Weems with ace-8. Jack, Jack, 7 on the flop. Turn card is a 4, looking good for a double up for Greg DeBora. Oh, I spoke too soon. 8 on the river, and Greg DeBora is eliminated in 49th place. He cashes for $45,000.
Did you see Remco there?
I did, and that is going to bring day 3 of the PCA 2011 main event to a close. We're going to pick up the action at the start of day 4 very soon, when they're going to play down to the final 3 tables, the final 24 players. And Moneymaker making a deep run. So, Joe, you asked the question during that session, was there excitement about the prospect of Moneymaker making a really deep run in this and making the final table? The answer to that question is yes, and I referenced at the start of the broadcast that when we were doing this for real, the live stream of the final table wasn't just going to be a live stream. It wasn't just going to be on the internet. It was also going to be a live TV broadcast in America. We were live on ESPN 2. And as you can imagine, the fuse that lit the poker boom was Chris Moneymaker winning that World Series of Poker main event in 2003. And here we felt we were at the next step on the evolutionary ladder to the kind of growth of poker in America and on TV, taking it live, showing the action in real time where you see every single hand on a short delay for game integrity reasons. And we just felt how poetic it would be to have Moneymaker at that final table. He was absolutely someone who you wanted to go deep, not just because he's a nice guy, not just because of who he is, not just because he's a team pro, but narratively it just would have been perfect. The other player, and again, I don't want to say that you're biased and that you're necessarily rooting against anyone, but again, the idea of having Ana Marquez make that final table is also a huge story point as well. I believe that Kathy Liebert made the final table of the very first PCA in 2004 when it was played on a boat. But certainly since then, and since the event had been held at Atlantis, no female player had ever made the PCA final table. So that's another storyline we're following. That's another thing you want to happen to give you that perfect storm and give you that perfect broadcast, because what a great selling point to have Anna and Chris at that final table when it's live on TV in the US.
Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine that I can't really remember. I just remember like not being that focused on the poker that much. I was just running around, having a good time, playing what used to be referred to as drunken goes. I don't know if you ever got to experience those, James, but just the energy, the air, it just must have been such a buzz about Moneymaker. You know, I mean, we're really getting down to the final X number of players in the biggest live poker tournament outside of Vegas ever.
Absolutely. We're about to kick off day 4 of a 6-day MTT. Started with more than 1,500 players. We're now down to fewer than 50 players. The final table very much in sight. It's funny, Joe, before we do these streams, I always go back over old photos, partly because I'm just interested if it brings up any memories of the event, and occasionally if there's something in there that's good to use for kind of promotional tweets or whatever. And I found a photo. They had this countdown clock in the hallway when you're walking down towards the ballroom where the poker tables are, and it was a countdown clock to the live broadcast, and I called it my anxiety clock, so I took a photo of it. But the other photo I found was you at the tables, you were playing, and I think they did some live tournament, which was the format of the big game, which was like pot limit pre, no limit post, and you had been free rolled into that as a bounty, as a kind of like, you know, kind of promotional aspect to that game.
I actually remember my bust out hand. I got it all in with ace queen against ace jack.
Okay, no more bad beat stories. I'm sorry, we've just had too many in recent days, weeks, months. So let's continue the action from PCA 2011 as day 4 gets underway. And we have got Chris Moneymaker back on the main stage. A big stack with 3.7 million. In fact, he has the advantage over former chip leader Chris Oliver. Toby Lewis, the EPT Villamora main event champ, is at the feature table, as is Ian Anton. The graphics are going to be run throughout.
Like 20 to 24 today, so I think easily have. But people have been going pretty fast in this tournament.
So that's the full lineup on the main stage. There is the PCA Memorial Trophy. 10-20 blinds. Was that pocket fives folded there?
It was.
Ace Queen for Chris Oliver. Plays as I'm Denuts online. Opens to 44,000. I swear Adam Geyer had a beard the last time we saw him.
He may have had a thicker stubble, but no beard.
He is definitely shaved overnight.
Hello.
Well, not overnight, probably in the morning. You get my point. We're off to the races, and my money's on jacks here.
Like the right versus the mechanic, one of these two things from January 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Yep, definitely liking jacks here. They're going to make a boat on the turn. Guy set for a double up. But as I said, Ace Queen was always going to win this. And with that Queen on the river, Chris Oliver eliminates Adam Geyer in 45th place. Golf applause.
I fold pocket 5, please.
Fold pocket 5?
Good luck, yo. Good playing with you, man.
It's easy.
$52,000 for Geyer.
He's busted half the field so far.
Down to the final 5 tables.
So Chris Oliver has retaken the chip lead. I'm wondering if that was actually a graphics error at the start of the show. Chris Moneymaker's either lost half of his stack or he never had 3 million.
That sounds about right.
Well, this is Mike Sowers versus Paolo Renk. We join this hand on the turn. Sowers betting 89,000.
89.
Let's play some rinking games. Every time Paolo messes with his toothpick, you rink. Wow, it's just mucks. Get him a rinky dinky dink.
Let's stay on the outer tables. Philippe Plouffe with ace jack. John Spadavecchia all in with sevens.
90, 590.
The Plouffe is in the pudding.
Plouffe likes what he sees. 9-1 favorite to eliminate Spadavecchia. Needs a 7 on the river. Nope.
Spadavecchia goes Plouffe.
Out in 44th place. Sam Stein with 8s. Hey everybody, it's Bolivar Palacios.
Hey everybody, it's the catcher from the Sandlot.
Palacios with a king high flush draw, checks it, and gets there on the river.
8 high flush draw. Not great news for Sam Stein either. Well, you can say goodbye to those.
Stein's bet of 213,000 called by Palacios.
Wonder if Sam's happy or not.
I knew you had a pair like that.
I knew you had nothing. That's the difference.
Good read too.
Palacios up to 1.26 million. As we head back to our feature table.
Yes.
Christopher Moneymaker and Christopher Oliver.
Chris, you can't bust me. You understand that, right?
Why is that?
Because if I make the final table, my wife flies down here to come see me. And that is going to happen.
Okay.
So, you cannot bust me.
At least not for a few more days.
Final table, okay. Because my wife's going to come down here. We're going to get no kids for a weekend. It's going to be amazing. So
We're supposed to start feeling sorry for Chris Moneymaker. What's the world coming to?
Canadians.
I think I've got something on Chris. I think he has a little bit of a tell. So I'm hooked.
Stay with strategy.
I know when he's going to play a hand, I think. Like, he looks at his cards out of turn, and I think I picked up on when he's going to play and when he's
James,
not
press
gonna play.
pause for a second.
I hope that's...
Sure.
That guy that you can barely see on the right, that's my old agent.
Oh, so not the guy that Moneymaker's talking to.
No, the guy who's just like, you know, there.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Holds true. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
I believe the guy Moneymaker's talking to there, who he says he has a tell on Chris Oliver, I believe that was his life coach at the time. I think
Sam something?
Yes. He basically hired him to kind of like help him with his mindset and his approach to the game.
Yeah, I had that guy on my podcast that week too, I think.
Obviously took second billing to me.
I wonder who else was on that week.
How much is it?
41 total.
So Moneymaker
Like 1.5?
What's that?
Yeah, like 1.5.
calling Chris Oliver's raise. Oliver opening in early position with 10-5 offsuit. Moneymaker defending his big with ace-jack. And ace-high still the best hand on this king 6-4 flop.
You know, there's a kind of funny story about the super high roller if we want to talk about that in the next break.
Sure.
That I haven't told a million times.
Okay, Moneymaker now with second pair, top kicker. Chris Oliver drawing dead. As we often say, chips into the abyss, 73K.
How are you going to get out of this one?
Did someone break your check button? I think you lost your fold and your check button.
Intrigued to see if Chris Oliver empties the clip. Queen of spades on the river. 2 overcards to Moneymaker's pair. A straighty board. Checks it.
It's not a very good card for Moneymaker.
And here comes the third barrel from Chris Oliver with absolutely nothing. 114,000.
I call.
And Moneymaker calls.
Nice call.
Moneymaker playing a pretty strong game in this PCA main event.
On the river if it wasn't a queen.
I didn't like the queen, I'll be honest.
I didn't think you did.
Now up to 1.9 million. Chris Oliver still commanding chip leader. Blinds 12,000, 24,000. Bolivar Palacios.
Who's this fella? McLovin just showed up.
Well, this has been folded to Chris Oliver, who's got 9-5. It's in the small blind. And he's going to raise it to 59K. Palacios has a 6.
59.
Why raised it 59,000? There you go, Kev Math. It was Sam Chauhan was his name. Chauhan, something like that.
Oh, the life coach.
Yeah.
I think he may have worked with Helmuth at some point as well.
I don't know if it was the most graceful exit from poker either, if I remember, but I'm not positive. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ace high still the best hand.
139.
I mean, it's tough to face all these barrels from Chris Oliver, but not really sure it's from the small blind. He'd really be playing this aggro with much that connects with his board. Blocking 5-6.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Oliver Rivers a 5. It's the straight for Palacios, and interestingly, checks when he's got a little bit of showdown value.
$200.
And a bet of 200,000 from Palacios.
Nice payday there for Palacios. And the best hand the whole way.
Chris Oliver still playing more than 3 million. Bolivar Palacios up to 1.8 million.
From that angle, it's hard to be thrown off by Chris Oliver's sideways hat action.
We've got an all-in here on one of the outer tables. Erica Sarasti at risk with ace-5. Max Lemansky ahead with ace-king. And that will decide the fate of Erica Sarasti out in 42nd place. Cashes for $52,000.
That is the lasty we'll see of Erica Sarasti.
Ana Marquez has flopped a set of jacks. So many sets of jacks in this event. Philippe Plouffe with 9s.
Oh no!
Set over set sickness.
Oh, he's just gonna think he is the absolute nuts here. Such a huge stack. All about to go Plouffe.
Raise coming.
He has announced raise. It was 150, it's now 425,000. Have you seen who's sat next to Ana Marquez, by the way, Joe?
I don't think so.
Let's see, we've
The
got
dealer?
No, there's a player sat next to the dealer. There you go. It's Walid Bouhabib.
More like Walid Yay Habib.
790,000. I re-raise.
Re-raise 790,000.
Love it.
I also love it. So much sass. So much confidence. So much in your eye. So much Espanol.
Much more. 515,000.
So hard to get away.
I'm all in. All in. It's all in called.
So Ana Marquez is the at-risk player, but is a 98% favorite. Plouffe can only hit a 9 here.
The burden of Plouffe is on the player from Canada. Nope.
That is a full double up for Ana Marquez. She has nearly 2.7 million now.
Thank you.
So that's going to put her into third position on the leaderboard behind Max Lemansky and Chris Oliver. Galen Hall versus Eddie Sabat. Eddie, 91 favorite with top pair.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Galen Hall's bet has been raised. Sorry, Eddie's bet's been raised. Galen Hall getting cheeky with the 6-5. Well, that jack on the river gives Eddie Sabat a straight. It's not going to stop Galen Hall from betting, though. 275,000 with 6 high. And I'm glad that Baby Dog has drawn attention to the splashing.
I can't believe you bet that card. I call.
Do I have to show my hand?
It's something you're going to see a lot of. And it slows down the game so much as the dealer has to restack the chips and count them. Galen Hall playing $1 million, Eddie Sabat playing 1.5 million. Tributes will be paid to the PCA if you want to make a donation. There is a Just Giving page. Pocket sevens at the feature table for Chris Moneymaker. He's under the gun. Ace King for the other Chris Oliver. And he is re-raised. It's a 3-bet to 159,000. Toby Lewis folds the button. Small blinds out. Ian Anton in the big blind with 4-3 folds. So action back on Moneymaker with sevens.
The Moneymaker decided he just wants to take like a. It's way too much to flip, right?
Just calls.
What you got, Chris?
Fair enough.
What you playing?
1.5.
Is it always coming 7? No, but it is a straight draw for Moneymaker to go with his pair. Commanding favorite here.
I do think Moneymaker has to be a little bit worried about bigger pairs than sevens.
$170.
Moneymaker now with the straight flush draw as well. Bets 170,000.
I mean, Chris Oliver's really not doing much to disguise the strength of his hand with his body language here.
Chris Oliver announces call. Going to the river, 727k in the pot. Jack of clubs, 7-8 knights. That is a straight flush for Chris Moneymaker.
Oh, he's checking.
And gets a bet from Chris Oliver of 200k.
Wow.
Are you going to show me if I fold?
Chris Moneymaker.
We had a straight flush yesterday. We've got another one today.
So Chris is doing this as a way to get a raise in?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, he didn't misread his hand, did he?
No. He's just check raised to 450.
Is it crazy that I would probably just call there? Is that weird?
Because you're worried about the queen of clubs?
Not that I'm worried about it. I just don't know, like, what else can call
Things
me.
they don't expect is good things sometimes.
That isn't the queen of clubs. Like, yes, of course, there's the ace and king of clubs. But if they don't have the queen of clubs, they have to be worried about that too.
So Moneymaker's up to 2 million, watched on by his coach. Chris Oliver has dropped below the 3 million mark for the first time in a while. And here we have Toby Lewis all in with sevens against Chris Oliver's king queen. And that's a pretty good flop for Toby Lewis, who won an EPT title at the start of this season. Champion in Villamora. King on the turn.
What a time to wake up.
So Toby Lewis does have 10 outs. Can still double up and survive with an 8, 7, or 3 on the river. And that will see Toby Lewis eliminated in 34th place, which is worth $59,000. Chris Oliver claws some back. Back up over 3 million, over 3.5 million, in fact.
I thought I went on roller coasters during tournaments. I mean, night.
It's just so many physical chips in front of them.
And let's blind you with science, people. Let's give you some stats to analyze. You like data? We've got data.
I like dating.
These are the last 50 hands that Chris Oliver was dealt. The key thing to say here is he's played nearly half of them. His VPIP is 48%. And he's got a near 50-50 win-loss record. 16 wins, 13 losses. And look at his range. It's all over the shop. Okay, there's some premiums in there, but there's a lot of garbage.
I mean, that would indicate a very swingy chip stack.
Back in action with 4-3 offsuit makes it 66,000. Grayson Ramage with 6-5 of spades.
AKA McLovin. Look, you can even see his little Hawaii ID photo down there.
King 7 of clubs for Ian Anton.
$36 more.
So I guess we were supposed to have seen all the hands Oliver's been playing to indicate that we were going to watch him play 4-3 offsuit now from under the gun +1.
I think it was just an illustration to show that he's playing a hell of a lot of hands and is having a very swingy day because he's losing as many as he's winning.
Like, I wanted to be critical of ENL calling in the small blind with King 7 of clubs, but it's by far the best hand and flops by far the best hand. 96% of the equity, 4 ways.
Huh.
How's this guy not win? He's playing better than anybody.
Pair of kings, very much the best hand. 100% lock on it. And Chris Oliver continues to fire, 250K.
Does he really get this done with pure sweat? He does.
Chris Oliver on steroids. Yep.
Looks like we're going to the outer tables. Marquez.
Oi, Marquez.
Eddie Sabat all in with Ace King racing against Mike Sowers, who's got pocket eights.
It's like 550. Oh, not 8 in the door.
Yeah, flops the king. However, a set of eights for Mike Sowers. And the Snowmen, Snum Num, are going to win this as Eddie Sabat departs in 30th place. He will win $66,000.
Eddie knocked out by Eddie. Oh, another flip time.
Yeah, Bolivar Palacios all in against Max Lemansky.
Like Mean Girls 2 versus Death Race 2. One of these two things from January 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Lemansky's 10's holding. Bolivar Palacios on the verge of elimination. Needs an ace or a king on the river to survive. It's a king. And he gets it quietly.
Again, I just barely don't like it. Like, I understand it. It's a huge moment.
Sorry for the reaction, but this thing is really big for me. I get for everyone.
Palacios survives. And is now 4th in chips. We have got 4 players now with more than 3 million. Palacios, Stein, Marquez, and chip leader Chris Oliver. And back to the feature table where we are going to sweat with Moneymaker, playing a hand from Chris's perspective.
So everyone take your poker knowledge and then scale it back a step or two, and then we'll get in the mind of Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah, but this is Chris Moneymaker with a mindset coach. Or maybe it was more of a spiritual coach. I'm not entirely sure what that guy's role was, but he was very much with Moneymaker throughout.
What do you mean by with a Moneymaker?
Well, just like on his rail the whole time.
No wonder he's so nervous his wife is coming.
Talking to him during breaks. Hanging out with him on the resort.
All right, that's a 3-bet to 200,000. And Chris Oliver's has been playing so wild, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't just give it up to him. But some of the time, he's going to have a big hand also. I like a just call.
And how are you feeling about the flop? King Jack 8.
Not loving it because I think this is going to hit some of Oliver's worst hands too. 488,000 in the middle. Bets 235. Moneymaker's just going to snap call him here. I don't love a snap call. I'm just done with this hand. Open-ended now, but like not a great open-ended. You hit your queen, you're losing to an ace.
Wow, Moneymaker shoves the turn, responds to Oliver's turn bet by moving all in.
I mean, this is one way to play it because I don't think nines is... Oh, wow, nice one.
6 deuce the hand for Chris Oliver.
And that's why I don't have the gumption to play these tournaments. I just don't have that in me. I just always figure, oh, this will be the one time. They don't even have to have it, right? They just have to think that you've got a hand exactly like you've got and call you with a jack.
Racing a little bit there. That was fun.
Well played, Chris Moneymaker.
It was fun to get the heart beating a little.
And we see the switcheroo as Chris Moneymaker moves up over 3 million and Chris Oliver drops down to 2.6 million. But they have referenced the fact that he's having a very up and down, very swingy day. Now it's Paolo Rink all in, dominated by Mike Sowers, 7s v 5s.
Mike's knocked out so many players, we're going to have to change his name to Mike Showers.
Agora o 7 dele. O 7 dele. O 7 dele agora.
The river is a deuce. The Mike Sowers pops victorious once again. Paolo Rink eliminated.
He was on the brink, but now he is just on the rail.
So a tale of 2 Chris's. One with the bigger stack than the other, and one far more active. 56% VPIP now. And we can see from his worm that he is on a downswing right now. Blinds 20,000, 40,000. 7-5 of hearts. Well, obviously he's going to play that.
I don't think playing like this is sustainable. You're going to have to rein it in at some point.
Calm down, Sam. We've ordered a drink. So Ian L. Anton has called in the small blind with ace-3 of diamonds. Chris Moneymaker with queen jack offsuit in the big.
Dude, I'm so bad at math. That's 48, right? You would think I'd be better at math being a poker player.
And a former accountant.
You're not an accountant anymore, though.
I know, seriously. People I did their taxes for, like, dude, he did my
Oh, danger, danger. Top pair for Moneymaker, 2 pair for Oliver.
135.
Big time danger, especially because we know that Chris is not having any of Chris's nonsense.
Yeah.
Did I say Chris is not having any of Chris's nonsense? You get what I mean.
The last names are on the graphics for a reason, Joe. And Moneymaker's down to 15% now. Checks the turn. Chris Oliver bets again, 260,000.
Do I get to see this one too?
Moneymaker going to find a fold here?
But I really want to see it.
No, he's doing that same thing he did before where he's acting weak, knowing full well he's going to put more chips in.
You got the goods this time, Chris? Something tells me you do. I don't know why.
What?
I feel like you have it actually this time.
Dude, I'm being... I need to take it all back.
Sorry, guys. I'm playing for his tournament life here, maybe. So.
If Chris folds this, man...
Small tournament.
I will take it all back.
Oh, my gut tells me you have it.
He folds.
Holy... Dude, I've been really, really hard on Chris. This tournament, I'm always hard on him.
Huh?
This is
I did not have
fantastic.
I had a jack, man. That doesn't mean he didn't still have it.
I don't even know how to describe this. How does Moneymaker... I mean, look, I think we know, it's not a major spoiler, we know Chris Moneymaker does not win this tournament. Boy, is he playing well.
Anna Marquez against Mike Sowers on the turn. Anna is checked. Mike Sowers bets 150,000. Anna calls. And a bet of 200,000 on the river from Anna Marquez.
Feels value-y.
Mike Sowers folds. So we are down to 25 players. A reminder that day 4 concludes when we're down to 24. Anna Marquez has taken the chip lead with 25 remaining. Chris Moneymaker sits in 4th. Chris Oliver down to 6th on the leaderboard. And we have an all-in here. Nicholas Kamen at risk with ace deuce. Ahead right now against Galen Hall's king queen.
Come on, Kamen.
Ace high still holding. River card is a queen, and Nicholas Kamen busts in 25th place. That's going to bring play to a close, but there is still a hand in progress. Action at the main feature table.
Nicholas Kamen 25th.
Tim Finney all in with king 10. Up against Chris Moneymaker, who's got ace 9.
Kamen came in. Will Finney finish?
Ace, queen, 5. Moneymaker with an even bigger advantage now. Tim Finney looking for a jack.
Very likely to be GG Finney.
So it ends up being a double KO at the end of day 4. Kamen out in 25th, Tim Finney out in 24th. So it'll be 23 players coming back for the penultimate day of the PCA 2011 main event. Chris Moneymaker, a big stack. And just to echo what we talked about at the beginning of the day 4 action, Joe, now so much hope that Moneymaker can make it to the final table. because he's got the chips, and also, and bear in mind that, you know, you're watching the action from the truck. You're watching the action in real time. You can see how well he's playing. There's every reason to suspect that we're going to see Chris potentially win the PCA, or at the very least make it to the final 8 and make it to that live broadcast.
Was there any talk of broadcasting sooner?
I mean, no. I mean, you can imagine ESPN's schedule is pretty packed. They'd agreed to this 4-hour window. I think, in fact, that they'd said that they didn't want to take the final table until it was down to the final 5 players. And I think the only leverage would have been that had Moneymaker made the final 8, that they might have gone to it earlier. But, you know, they've got college football. They've got actual sport to show. This is ESPN 2, not the Ocho. You said, Joe, that you railed. I don't think I arrived in the Bahamas that year until the Super High Roller had already been played out, so I didn't get to see Eugene Kachalov win. I didn't get to see the heads-up battle between him and Daniel Negreanu. It was over by the time I arrived. I take it you were already there when that was played then.
I was already there, and it's actually a funny story because, as I said, there was like kind of like a contract negotiation between PokerStars going on at the time, and because PokerStars is very good at business and I am not, I didn't really know what PokerStars had in mind for me, and they didn't really tell me because they didn't want me to have good negotiation leverage. And it turns out that when Daniel Negreanu and Eugene Kachalov got heads up in the first ever Super High Roller, I was like, I'm going to go rail my friend Daniel. I remember Daniel had just flown me to Vienna a few months before we went to Vienna and Amsterdam and Romania too, actually. And I was like, oh man, Daniel's about to win $1 million or whatever it was. So I was down there on the rail, and Daniel kept talking to me like in the middle of play. They're filming this for, I don't know if it was for TV or for what, but there were cameras there. Yeah. For the NAPT, right? Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And there's cameras filming me. And so Daniel's every once in a while, like joking with me on the rail. And eventually a producer comes and taps me on the shoulder, and they're like, can you, we need you to not be here anymore. And I thought I'd done something wrong. And it turns out they were considering me to be the commentator for that event, but no one had told me. So they had to come out and yell at me to tell me to not be on the rail because I can't be on the rail and also doing commentary. And that's how I found out I was even in the running to be a commentator on the NAPT, because I just so happened to be chatting with Daniel on the rail.
So you got hired to be the commentator on the NAPT, and who was your co-commentator on the North American Poker Tour on ESPN?
James Hartigan.
And did any of those shows actually air on ESPN?
They did not.
What happened, Joe? What went wrong?
I caused Black Friday.
It's all your fault. I think we've established that every bad thing that we've witnessed across these last few events is somehow connected to you. It all comes back to Joe Stapleton. Okay, let's continue our action of the PCA main event from 2011. A reminder that it started with more than 1,500 players. They are now down to 23. It's day 5. It's the penultimate day. They're playing down to the final table, and there is a chance we are going to see Chris Moneymaker make that final table. Very exciting day of poker ahead of us. And obviously, you've got to have Moneymaker on the main stage, even though he decided to wear this atrocious orange shirt.
There is everybody at this table I've not played a single hand with except for you.
That's how it
I haven't
always
played a
happens.
single hand with anybody in this tournament.
It's funny, you really haven't been at the same table with
I know, it's insane.
So Sam Stein, Mike Sowers, all at this table, plus Brian Colin. Hey, Eric Banner's back.
Better here than in Lucky You too.
Well, I was going to say that's never going to happen, but then I was reading earlier this week that Ron Howard is in talks to make Solo 2 for Disney. So anything is possible.
Come on.
Do it for Drew Barrymore.
Do it for Michael, what's his name?
Call.
Who's the guy that beats him in the tournament where they have to redo the river?
Oh, General Zod.
Michael, yeah.
Shannon, Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Hey, it's a flip. Like Season of the Witch versus No Strings Attached.
It's looking good for Patchell here. Just has to fade a 4.
It's good to snooze.
Card is the King of Diamonds. Well, Sammy will now need to get to 4.
There's 2 cards in the deck for Joel Patchell to fade here. Oh, come on. The sailboat on the river sends Joel Patchell to the rail in 22nd place. Cashes for $75,000.
Patchell sent packing.
Chaos Poker asks, what does new commentary mean? It means we're talking to you now. Hello, or, because we're retro, what's up?
Nice hand, Sam.
Thank you.
James, how did you know 9 years from now a guy named... I lost his comment. Chaos Poker was going to write us that message.
The same way I knew that they were going to make a Star Wars movie called Solo and a potential sequel. We have seen Anna Marquez open here and been re-raised by Dmitry Stelmach.
You mean Russian Nick Welthal?
Re-raise gets through. Anna Marquez playing nearly 3.3 million. She's among the chip leaders. Here's a 3-bet from Grayson Ramage. He's got kings. Chris Oliver's got 8s.
Got an all-in bet. Call. Call. I have an all-in bet and I have a call.
Ramage, the at-risk player, and set for a double up through the former chip leader.
Oh my goodness.
Out flopped. The Snowman's flopper set.
Likely outed. That's the damage for Ramage.
Ramage goes in 21st place. And that was a not insignificant pot. Ramage was all in there for about 2.5 mil. So what's Chris Oliver got now? He's reclaimed the chip lead. He's got nearly 6 million. Sam Stein sits in second. Moneymaker is third. Anna Marquez, 5th in chips. Also inside the top 10. Galen Hall and Bolivar Palacios. Hey, there's Waleed Bouhabib.
More like Waleed Yay Habib.
And we haven't seen Calvin Anderson yet. He's 17th on the leaderboard.
I caught a little glimpse of him in the background.
I want go-go gadget raise. Go-go gadget raise. Good luck. Good luck today, man. Good luck, guys.
We've got James St. Hilaire all in here with King Queen.
The patron saint of comedy.
King Queen against Kings. Not a terrible flop for King Queen of Hearts.
No, another heart would be hilarious.
Third card, please. It is the King of Diamonds. That will do it.
However, that kind of ruins any tension, excitement, or drama, and St. Hilaire is out in 19th place.
Can you imagine making day 5 of the PCA and getting this much screen time?
Yeah, that'll work too. Yeah.
Nice one, Porter.
There is Chris's mindset coach. You were right, Joe.
Oh, dude,
Sam
hey,
Shahoun.
Listen, for about 8 years, dude, if the tournament starts at 12, I get up 12:15, maybe take a shower, run downstairs, donk off chips, go back to bed. For 8 years.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Yeah, that's why I had to change. 2011, I said I was going to do things different.
Now he does all those things, but also has a life coach.
Sam Stein, ladies and gentlemen.
Stein opening here with 9-8.
Stein's the only one dressing like it's January. He does know he's in the Bahamas, right?
What do you got, Sam? Ballpark.
3.9.
309?
3.9 to start.
3.9.
Moneymaker makes the call. We'll head up to the flop.
Ace, Queen, 10. Pair of 10s for Chris Moneymaker.
2 pair might be a problem for Chris here.
Sam bets 140,000.
Calls the 140K. Sam Stein pairs his 8 now.
See if he slows up now that he's got a pair. Nope. And you would expect a double barrel to get the job done here quite often.
Yeah.
Chris been very sticky this entire tournament and hasn't been wrong often, to his credit.
And he's still good.
Will Chris call another bet? I do not know.
Sam bet 615,000.
Really?
Yes. Really?
He's told a consistent story. Wow. Wow.
Nice thing. Wow.
This dude
I almost have that.
is
That's
just...
good.
What year is it? Is it 2003?
Oh, he luck boxed that one. This is 2011 where he actually had to play well.
And he is playing well.
He is. And he's up to 5.65 million now.
How did this not happen?
Plouffe all in with 7s. Racing against Marty Mathis's King Queen, and it is always coming 7. And Plouffe is going to double up through Mathis. 2.19 million in the pot. That was Mathis, right?
Oh, yes. I was going to say Mathis idiotic. Mathis
Sam
hard.
Stein started the day with 5.2, down to 2.6. 50% of his stack dusted in 18 hands.
And that's 17 more hands than it usually takes someone to dust off half their stack. So
Max Weinberg opening here. Ace Jack under the gun, 115,000. Ace Queen for Sam Stein.
hey, Max Weinberg, where's Bruce Springsteen? Where's Stevie Z?
So it was a 3-bet from Stein. He's re-raised to 260,000.
I call.
Weinberg all in. Stein side calls. Domination nation. Weinberg at risk.
That's
a lot.
Let's see the flop, please. Tray of diamonds, ace of diamonds, 5 of hearts.
All right. Looking good for the player ahead.
card is the 9 of spades.
Looking very good.
Max will now need to get to jack.
Weinberg needs a jack to survive.
River card, please.
Max Weinberg.
Oh, wow. These rivers. These rivers. Weinberg doubles up through Stein.
So gross.
Sam Stein now down to 1.35 million. What's happening over here? It's Table Marquez, but I don't think she's involved in this hand. It's Shane Kana, all in with ace-queen, called by Ian L. Anton with ace-10.
Where's my guy?
Anton.
Oh, 10 high flop.
Boy, oh boy, this is a disaster day, isn't it? This guy just got patched up and everything. No way he was wearing that yesterday.
Sorry. Nice hand.
Kana KO'd.
18th place finisher, so down to 17, one away from being down to 2 tables. Oh, I thought he was going to cry there.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Gonna squirt some? Mathis all in with ace-3 against 10s. Barry Greenstein required. No flaming Barry. Mathis KO'd in 17th place. Cashes for $87,500, and that's going to take us down to 16. That will take us down to the final 2 tables. Chris Oliver closing in on the 7 million mark.
Just outer table.
Yeah, and this is the outer table. Walid Bouhabib, Dimitri Stelmach, Bolivar Palacios, Philippe Plouffe. And then on the main stage, Moneymaker, Anton, Hall, Stein, Sowers. And where did Golka come from? Did he buy in today?
What do you think of that as a format where at the final table you draw a name out of a hat and somebody who went broke earlier in the field gets average chips?
Joe, as I've said before, you've got to write down all these ideas. We'll take them to the PokerStars Fat Cat, that and the MTT without a bubble, all the other formats you've come up with. We just got to pitch them, rapid style. I do love the idea of a second chance for someone who busted earlier, though.
I like any time we can incorporate a tombola.
Exactly. A random draw, something that's going to really annoy every other player in the event. Okay, so Moneymaker going to war against Galen Hall, ace-7 against 10s.
Let's get all the really intense mind coaching going on.
Do you think he's in for a percentage?
Well, he's not in for free, I'll tell you that much.
Uh-oh. Top set for Galen Hall. Chris Moneymaker has a gut shot. Checks the action to Hall. And now Moneymaker pairs his 7 on the turn. He cannot win the pot outright. An 8 would be a chop.
I feel like watching this, knowing that Chris Moneymaker doesn't win it, is like when you rewatch The Empire Strikes Back and you're just waiting for Luke to get his hand cut off.
Moneymaker's made pretty solid decisions and has made strong reads throughout, though. 550,000 is the bet from Galen Hall. just a pair of sevens, and what we can see is now a straight draw to a chop, but he calls.
This is questionable. That was questionable.
I'm all in.
What a read by Galen Hall.
1.75 million. Moneymaker's got 4.5 million.
Not afraid of the straight. Not afraid of the diamonds.
Really?
Yes. Really.
I call.
Moneymaker calls with just a 7. Galen Hall is going to double up with his set of 10s. That is the first major misstep we've seen Moneymaker make in this event.
Wrong read.
Galen Hall can't even believe it.
Nice hand.
I mean,
Oh, Moneymaker needs to step away from the table.
Don't lose your focus. You're fine.
I need to just stick playing all ins.
I made a big call. I was wrong.
It's okay. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. It's okay. You have 4 million?
I got like 2 million.
2 million left?
Yeah.
No, you just got to.
He's like, it's fine. You got 4 million. He's like, I got 2 million. Oh, okay. We knew it was coming.
Ana Marquez versus Bolivar Palacios. And we can see that Palacios has the nut flush draw on the flop. And now makes his flush on the turn.
Really hoping that this board doesn't pair a second time. All right, blocking king, queen. Yeah, check, check. You're obviously good when you get checked back there.
Yeah.
A huge barrel on the river would have been not the most comfortable situation.
Palacios up to 4.8 million. These stacks are getting huge, but then I do remember it's a 30K starting stack and there were 1,560 players. There's a lot of chips in play here. Oh, look at Moneymaker's worm. Up, 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 steady ascent, and then that huge drop-off. That poor read in the hand against Galen Hall, and now a below-average stack.
Your worm will often struggle with drop-offs once you get to be Moneymaker's age.
As Macy Gray famously sang, "My worm grumbles when you are not near." Sam Stein has raised with Queen 6 of spades. Moneymaker's got a dominating hand, Queen Jack. Okay.
Okay.
Jack, Jack 5. This is it, Chris. Woo! See, I can be a motivational coach. You don't need to pay that guy whatever you're paying him.
Back in the saddle.
You're going to have 4 million chips soon.
Oh, no.
What? Oh, it's a spade.
Don't say what.
Oh, it's a spade. $260K. And it's a spade on the river. Trips against a flush, and Moneymaker is going to bet again.
315.
Well, I hope Sam's got some, not this Sam, Coach Sam has got some wise words for Mr. Moneymaker after he loses this one. 1.2 million Stein's made it. Do not call. Good fold, Moneymaker.
Wow. Great fold. Great fold. Look, that's a very strong mindset fold right there. It's so easy
I do
to make
think
that call.
that if he hadn't gone off of that little walk and had that chat, that he probably would have called there.
It's a hell of a good fold.
Look, it's Bolivar Palacios. Meanwhile, we have an all-in. Gregory Baksic at risk with ace-9 against Chris Oliver's aces.
You big sick. You big sick.
And that is going to be Gregory eliminated in 13th place, taking us down to the final 12. 2 tables of 6, and everyone now guaranteed a 6-figure score.
James, I'll have you know my figure has also often been rated a 6.
Glad to hear it. Chris Oliver holds onto the chip lead, closing in on the 10 million mark. Bolivar Palacios, Galen Hall also in the top 5. Chris Moneymaker, one of the shortest stacks now with less than 2 million. Ana Marquez also on the shortish side.
190.
Galen Hall opening under the gun with Queen 9 of clubs.
Shields up.
Moneymaker in with Queen 10, and Ian L. Anton has got Ace Jack.
Doesn't strike me as much of a 3-better. Nope.
Michael Pesek with Jack 7. And I don't know what happened to the rest of Pesek's chips, but he's calling all in here from the small. Sorry to make you a supporting player, Michael, but we have got Chris Moneymaker in this event. King 10-3 on the flop.
Are you Pesexual? No.
Check.
Is this going to get checked around? No. Yes.
It's an intimidating check, though.
It was an intimidating check. He went for chips and then thought better of it. By the way, Pesek is going to be eliminated here. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
There will be no Pesexual healing.
225,000 apiece. We go to the river, which is the Queen of Diamonds. That is Broadway for Ian L. Anton. 3 pair for Chris Moneymaker.
Seem pretty content.
Super bad river for him.
Think this one's getting shipped back to you? Check.
He knows it. He's frustrated.
I mean, it's a straighty, flushy paired board, and for that reason, Ian L. Anton checks it back on the river, shows the straight.
It's okay. Next time, try to think about it.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Michael Pesek was eliminated there. He's out in 12th place. We're down to 11. Moneymaker looking a little frustrated now. Are we going to the other table? I believe we are. It's Philippe Plouffe all in here with ace-8 against Bolivar Palacios' ace-6. The nation is domination. And there's an 8 on the flop.
Strong.
Oh, clubs are a factor.
Oh, that is a huge turn card.
Safe river for Philippe Plouffe, and he is going to double up through Bolivar Palacios.
How many times has he been all in and doubled up?
A lot.
More than I ever have in any tournament, that's for sure.
Need that positive energy.
Yeah,
I keep wanting to beat myself up. So
you shouldn't beat yourself up.
I mean,
there's 1,500 people that wish that they were you.
This is true. This is true.
So see things as they are, but then see them better than they are.
Yeah, I guess everybody in this room would rather be up here than up there.
Exactly.
You also don't want to beat yourself up when your wife's on the way.
Positive energy. King 6 for Moneymaker. And he is all in for his last million.
It's like 1.2, right?
What's
no 1.1?
What's the big blind?
Sweat it with me.
I think we're at like 612. I mean 6120.
No, that's not good for me, maybe.
This feels a little.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, King.
Yeah,
I feel like you got a couple more hands so the blinds come back around again. You know, the theory on short stack play has changed a lot since 2011.
I got King 6.
King 6 suited, I think, is perfectly acceptable in later position. From that position, it seems a little premature.
Galen just owns me today. It's
Anywho, Moneymaker is all in and at risk. He is dominated by Galen Hall, who has ace-6.
Do I really want to use my
Super unfortunate
It's a lot of equity.
to be up against ace-6.
I'll save it for a better spot.
Galen's ace high holding. Moneymaker has 3 outs, looking for a king. Hits the king of spades. However, being a spade, it has given Galen Hall the nut flush draw. Any ace, any spade gives Hall the win. 12 cards, Moneymaker will have to fade to survive.
He can fade it.
He does not fade. He gets green-steined.
I should have used it.
And Chris Moneymaker exits the PCA 2011 main event in 11th place. We do not get the fairy tale ending we wanted. We do not get Moneymaker at the final table. But we saw him play phenomenally over the course of the last few days.
I mean, it's just a testament to what a difficult game this is, because you can play phenomenally for 5 days and poorly for 1 second, and that's it.
You can see that Chris Oliver has 5-4. We don't know what Bolivar Palacios has. King, King 10. I'm going to hazard a guess that Palacios is probably ahead here.
Ahead, but maybe not far enough ahead to be able to withstand the gale force winds of Chris Oliver. Yes, that was a fart joke. Shows it. Shows it.
Chris Oliver has nearly 12 million chips now, with just 10 players remaining from a starting field of 1,560. And actually, the blinds aren't as big as I thought they were, Joe. 40-80, which makes that King 6 shove even more questionable. But we are very close to the final table now. 2 more eliminations and we'll be down to 8 players. So 10-8 for Stein. Raises the button. Sowers calls in the small. And we have heads-up action, 10-4-5 on the flop.
So disappointing when Jack 9 you hit that 10 and nothing else.
Yeah.
You're like, there it is, the 10.
Mike bets out. 290,000. Sam makes the call. River card, please. River card is the deuce of clubs. Mike checks.
Well, Sam, time to get a little value out of top pair.
Mike raises. Makes it a total of 1,250,000.
What's happening here? 1.25 million with Jack high?
Be thinking about this because I actually thought you were strong on the turn. You check the river.
Could bluff Stein off the best hand.
Check
Nope.
Wow, nice call.
Great call from Sam Stein.
Thank you. I like listening to your reasoning at least. I know, right?
Oh, man. You know what's really cool about this, James, is that, it's kind of the Chris Oliver show, but this is like Clue. There's any number of like major forces still in play here. Marquez, Stein, Plouffe a bit of an underdog, Palacios.
Well, talking of Marquez, she is all in with eights and she's run into the aces of Chris Oliver. Ana Marquez needs to get lucky to survive. Queen 10-5 on the flop. Running spades would work. Now it has to be an 8. Can the Snowmen's improve? Num num. No. Ana Marquez dispatched in 10th place. Cashes for $155,000. She is denied a seat at the final table.
ESPN's like, the live broadcast just went from 4 to 2 hours. Make it good.
And Chris Oliver consolidates his chip lead. So time for the final redraw, down to the final 9. Chris Oliver has such a commanding lead, 16 million, the second biggest stack. Galen Hall with 6.4 million. Philippe Plouffe, the shorty, with 1.6. The blind's now 50,000, 100,000.
Very tense here, final table bubble. Is everyone at this table now?
Correct. We're down to a single table. The official final table bubble. So Dimitri Stelmach has opened here with ace-king suited, 225,000. Chris Oliver with 7-6 of spades.
He is just not to be trifled with today.
Oh, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, come on. Stelmach, one of the shortest stacks as well, Joe. I'm not quite sure how he does not go broke on this hand.
I mean, clearly he does.
Oh, he doesn't have to lose it all, but you're against a player as wild as Chris Oliver. Raised the flop, made it 540,000. Stelmach re-raises, 3 bets to 1.27 million. Stand by for the rest to go in.
I mean, if... Yeah.
All in and a call, and Stelmach just a 9% chance of survival.
You are unreal, Chris Oliver.
One ace, please.
Well, there's 2 in the deck. You only need half of them.
That is true. So even though Oliver improves to a full house on the turn, it doesn't really change anything. Stelmach still needs an ace. Barry Greenstein required here. Are we going to see an ace on the river? No, we are not. The king is not enough. Dmitry Stelmach out in 9th place. That's worth $155,000. But the other 8 players lock up spots at the final table. They will be back for the final day of the PCA main event. They will play down to a winner for a first prize of $2.3 million.
See you in the final.
You too, buddy. Good luck tomorrow.
That's adorable.
And
Good
Chris
luck
Oliver,
against Chris Oliver.
He's going to have such a commanding chip lead. So yeah, we did not get what we wanted. Chris Moneymaker, Anna Marquez, but still a strong lineup, still an entertaining final table ahead of us. And a reminder, it was a final table that was broadcast live on US TV, on ESPN, playing for that advertised first prize of $2.3 million. There's some good stuff coming up, so don't go anywhere, especially when we get down to the final two players, and I won't tell you who they are. There were some interesting comments during that last session, Joe, about when is the next PCA. And of course, I think it's worth pointing out that there wasn't a PCA in 2020, nothing to do with the global pandemic. The decision was taken after the 2019 PokerStars Caribbean Adventure, which also played host to the PSPC, that the event would be dropped from the live events calendar. But I'm a great believer in never saying never, and I want to make it clear here. I don't have any inside information. There have not been any conversations that I'm aware of about the future of the PCA, but I do believe that with a bit of time, with a fresh perspective, and with everything that we've been through in the last 12 months, with an absence of pretty much all live poker, there is a chance, there has to be, that one day in the future that we do go back to Atlantis, that we do put this event back on the poker calendar.
One of the things that PokerStars, in my opinion, does really right is they're great at comebacks. They're great at, after a long void of missing something, of there being a big grand gesture. And I'm going to say, whatever information James has, he says he has none. I have even less. But I do know that PokerStars is really good at planning big spectacle events. We saw it, right, with the PSPC. And the Caribbean is still a great place for that to happen. And in my fantasy world, COVID vaccine, online poker becomes legal in more places, and we're able to really have a comeback for not just the world, but for the poker world, hopefully within the next 18 months or so.
Yeah, I also think that, regardless of what's happened this year, actually, it probably did need to be rested at least for a few years. One of the reasons why the PSPC was added to the schedule there is it needed that boost. It needed that kick because it had been struggling in recent years to regain that feel, that festival atmosphere. The fields were getting smaller. People weren't enjoying going to the resort anymore. And look, I know we badmouth Atlantis a lot, but now we're not going there anymore. We miss it, and distance makes the heart grow stronger. So again, I don't know. Maybe it will be never, but I would like to think that one day, maybe January 2022 or 2023, at least we could consider bringing back the PCA, because I do miss going there. And also watching the poker, it made the best shows. There is no doubt in my mind that the best content, the best spectator sport that we could generate came out of that event.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're all super fun. Yeah, I think it was this just sort of magic formula of the world coming together, world poker players. The fact that it was at a warm location in January, everyone's just off a holiday break. Lots of people satelliting in typically, and just the facilities there, as much as we didn't like what went on outside of that room all of the time, that room, that massive space where everyone was in one room together, lots of room for cameras, for rail, for fans, people's family and friends would come. It was just the perfect storm of really, really good TV.
Agreed. Okay, let's get to the final table. Remember, this was played 9 years ago, January of 2011, at the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. An event that started with 1,560 players. And remember, this is a $10,000 buy-in event, is down to the final 8. This is the final table of PCA 2011. Let's enjoy revisiting it on EPT Retro.
Let's go. Whose names are blacked out there?
Well, if this is the TV edit for the European audience, it would have been myself and William Reynolds, Bill Jam, who did the edited highlights commentary. The live show on ESPN was myself and Daniel Negreanu.
Keep doing what you were doing.
Yeah, my favorite Bill Jam quote of all time is, "Last I checked, Harleys don't fly." That was the time he pissed off a Swedish motorcycle gang. Really looking forward to see how Chris Oliver approaches this final table.
I mean, why
don't
change
see why
anything?
he'd change anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep playing a ton of hands, keep playing aggressively, keep running golden.
Man, what a first hand.
All in, re-raise from Phil in the small blind.
Philippe Plouffe shoving with queens.
There goes one queen.
I call.
And it's the classicest and sickest of races. Ace-king against queens. Queen's the at-risk hand here.
Like the Green Hornet versus the Dilemma. One of these two things from January 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Flop is 10-10 jack.
Oh.
10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, jack of clubs.
At least there aren't any straight outs for Sam Stein. Plouffe has to fade aces and kings on the river.
Just has to dodge an ace or a king, and he's going to double through.
It's Barry Greenstein. Philippe Plouffe, first player out from the final table. 8th place finish worth $202,000. We're already down to 7.
More like Barry Samstein. Man, he kicked and clawed his way to that final table. Good for him. Ah!
I just did an interview with Barry Greenstein right before the tournament, so that seems kind of fitting, yeah.
That must have been for Poker Road.
So now we're down to 7. Everyone's guaranteed at least 300K. We're going to make 4 millionaires at this final table, with the winner getting 2.3 million.
4 people get $1 million or better?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it didn't even have that flat of a structure, how much first place would have been?
I know.
Was that part of the ESPN thing, since they were probably only going to start at 4-handed, like, oh, everyone's got $1 million already?
I think it was more a time thing, but yes, it does help when you say that all these guys are guaranteed to be millionaires. I mean, obviously next week we're going to be covering the grand final in Madrid. That was the same deal with Eurosport in Europe, where we did a live TV broadcast of the final table of that event. And again, the TV broadcaster wanted to pick it up when it was down to a manageable number of players. They know that 4 players, okay, you may be looking at 4 to 5 hours of play. 8 players, you don't really want to dedicate a 6 to 8 hour broadcast window to poker.
How much you have left?
About 2.56.
This is because they'd never heard of Copenhagen, where heads-up battles went on for 12 hours.
Right.
Galen makes the call of 460,000. Ace of spades.
Okay, with Galen Hall feeling more confident now. Ace on the turn. Has had the best hand all the way through.
Now he knows it for sure. Checks it back.
Queen of diamonds.
A bet of 545,000 from Ian L. Anton.
You didn't bluff all day once yesterday, did you?
Sorry?
You didn't bluff once yesterday, did you? You never called without a pair. You never check raised.
Fairly astute. But I think this is just ultimately too strong to lay down. Yeah.
Anton shows Jack 10 of diamonds. Anton shows Ace King for aces and fives. Galen takes the pot.
It's easy.
I thought you might mix it up a little today.
And he did.
Almost fold, huh? If ace doesn't come, I win. So
The ace matters a lot less than you think it does.
No?
Yeah. If a club comes, you probably win.
That's what I want to count.
Bants.
Those two have decided to stay 6 extra days in the Bahamas together after this.
Jack 10 for Galen Hall.
240.
Raises to 240,000. Ace 8 for Max Weinberg, and he is all in.
Oh, look at that adorable rail.
The Weinbergs.
Call. Re-raise. Chris folds the big.
I've just remembered something, actually. Let's just see how this plays out, and hopefully there'll be an opportunity to say it.
If it's about Weinberg, you might want to get it in now, even though he's
No, it's about the final table. And the reason why every single player has a sizable rail.
Flop better, Galen.
Yeah, not looking good for Weinberg.
Turn is the queen of clubs, giving Galen straight with his jack.
Let's make it a 10.
Weinberg looking to River Broadway. But he is eliminated in 7th place. Cashes for 300K. I think
Weinberg to Min Weinberg.
There was actually at least one, if not 2 days break between the penultimate day and the final table. And that was deliberately designed to give people's families a chance to arrive.
That's what I've told you. I had one with the jack.
Yeah, I didn't want to know that. Just makes it hurt more when it comes.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Baby Dog asks, is Galen trying to be douchey? No, he's just really smart, and I think it comes off as douchey sometimes.
Bolivar Palacios all in with King Jack against Galen Hall's Ace 4.
Half a schlug here. Oh, here's Calvin. Never saw his bust out, did we?
I think Mr. Anderson is railing Galen Hall.
That tracks.
Okay, there is a 4 on the flop. Doesn't really change the situation, though. Bolivar Palacios needs a king or a jack. Well, now he can river a 10 as well for a straight. They went to a lot of effort to get those T-shirts made. Not sure it was worth it. Bolivar Palacios out in 6th place. 450K.
Nice game. Nice game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that ESPN were very keen for there to be a sizable audience, so they wanted to give plenty of opportunity for people to get their friends and family to reach the Bahamas and be on the rail. So we're at the 80-160 blind level with 5 players remaining.
It really adds so much to watching a TV broadcast or being there live when they have the opportunity to do that. I love the T-shirts. I love the coordinated outfits. I love the signs. I think it makes poker so much more accessible too to regular folks when they see that happening also.
Look at Chris Oliver 3-betting with Trey Deuce.
He's just such a dangerous player because I don't know how you fold anything to him, but I also don't know how you ever call. Like, how do you play against that? I guess you flop top pair. All you can do.
Mike Sowers calls as well. So we're going 3-way to the turn. And now it's a pair of 3s for Chris Oliver.
Can't really like it when there's 2 other people in the hand. Stein really needed to pick up some equity on the turn.
Action checks around. And it's the 5 on the river for the straight. Chris Oliver gets there.
Like I said, you can't fold to him. You can't call it off to him.
I won't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Oh, Sauer's going to call here with a pair of queens. No, he lets it go. Good fold. I'm the nuts. I'm the chip leader.
Nice, Sam. Didn't mean to show the deuce.
Look at the home games patch. That's something we've all been experiencing a lot more lately.
I think it's worth pointing out the PokerStars home games launched at the PCA 2011. This is when it first appeared in the client. 22.5 million chips now for Chris Oliver.
It was launched in 2011, and they just updated it for the first time about 6 months ago.
That's a hashtag fun fact. Again, the light 3-bet. Mike Sowers opening with 4s. Oliver 3-betting with 8 deuce off.
8 deuce off, not in terrible shape.
Oh, come on. This is just getting silly.
Oh, boy.
1-3.
Mike checks. 1,300,000.
So, James, as I stated multiple times already, how do you fold here? How do you call? Oh, no, he does neither one, and that is rut-row. It's going to be showers for sours.
He decided to respond by moving all in, got snap called, and he only has one out. There's only 1-4 left in the deck.
Oh, Mikey.
One last chance to hit.
Nice meeting you. Good game.
Sowers busts in 5th place. So he cashes for $700,000. We are down to the final 4, Joe, and that means that the final 4 are all guaranteed a 7-figure score. All guaranteed at least a milli.
Serious question, James. You're Chris Oliver in this spot. Do you offer the table a deal where they give you better than first place money?
24.
Together you are like... Even old guys like me can win.
Potentially. What's he got, 30 million now?
It's easy. Yeah,
So there's what, about 46 million chips in play, and he's got 30 mil.
I'm all in.
Yes!
Ian Anton has done a great job of laddering up to secure himself $1 million. Galen Hall calls with King 8 and can't believe he's up against a hand as strong as Jack's.
Hey, remember, Jacks are hot in this tournament.
I have an overcard.
No,
He waited and he waited and he waited, and you know what? He earned it.
King ball. I got 30% for sure.
Of course, no, you are
I
in
got
front.
100%.
You're in front, believe me.
Have you guys been watching? Do you guys watch poker, dude?
Come on.
Game over.
If you've been watching this
Can
event,
I
you
have
know
a
Jacks
quads
are a
now?
big favorite.
Because
here.
I'm going after that, so.
Let's see the flop, please.
Sure,
Flop is 7, 4, 10.
please, don't bring the kings. Let them in the church.
I don't care what it is. Just give me
Yeah.
a swag. Give me a 9.
Give him an 8, please. It's okay, I agree that.
Anton says
Now, this is the smile of someone who is not at all worried about
No.
getting bad beat here because they're
Give him an
already
8,
guaranteed $1 million.
Anton still leading with jacks and sevens.
Yes, here comes
If I'm going to win this spot, I'm going to win the tournament. So, okay.
Well, I guess you're going to win the tournament then because you've won the pot. Ian Anton doubles up through Galen Hall.
Year of Romania.
I was going to say, Joe, what year was 2011?
So many Romanians on the rail. It's awesome.
Okay, so over time, clearly we've skipped a few hands. Chris Oliver's dropped down to 26 million. Galen Hall in second place with 11 million. Ian Anton still the shortest stack with just shy of 1.8 million.
Later. Oh, well. Huh.
Chris Oliver raises to 475,000 with ace, queen of diamonds, ace, 9 of hearts for Sam Stein.
Sam's going to re-raise.
3 bets to 1.18.
Big, it's back to Chris now.
You start with Sam? Start with him with like 6-5, maybe 6-6. I'm all in.
All in, re-raise from Chris.
We don't see a lot of pre-flops all-ins from him with air balls.
No.
It's taking so long. I'm like so sure I have the best hand. I'm still thinking. I call.
Call.
Oh, wow.
Diamonds for Chris, ace 9 of hearts for Sam.
Domination Nation. We know what he does when he's behind. When he is ahead. I don't like your chances, Sam Stein.
Let's see the flop. Flop is
King 10-5. Stein needs a 9. Yeah, a lot of people observing that ICM should have been a consideration here. This is a great ladder for Ian L. Anton.
ICM, schmicm. Everybody's got $1 million. What are you holding on for?
Let's see the river card.
$2 million?
No 9 on the river. Sam Stein eliminated in 4th place. That's 1 million straight. But Ian L. Anton's just earned himself another 350 grand.
Okay, all right. That's a big ladder.
And he's loving it.
He should be.
Chris Oliver, an even bigger monster now.
Jeez, James, take it easy.
But at least
Like
I didn't make myself to be ashamed here. Not before I don't take it Gale out.
What do you have against me?
I want to play the heads up, that's why it's nothing with you.
You can play heads up against me.
No.
Just double like 5 times.
No, I want to quiz a lot, so I have to play with him.
He's like, clearly Chris is making heads up.
King Queen for Galen Hall. Raises to 425,000 from the button. Ace 5 for Chris Oliver.
Are we going to see a hand played through the streets?
Calls for 325.
I'm all in.
6 and an all in.
No.
From Ian L. Anton in the beg.
What do you do here if you're Galen? Jeez. I guess when Oliver just calls, you can...
A fold.
Galen makes the call. Chris
Oh,
folds.
thank God. That would have
go.
just been a
Chris
nightmare.
folds, Ace 5 off. Hearts. Ace 5 of hearts. King Queen's offsuit for Galen.
Oh, Anton dominated. He's had so many ladders though.
Șase. Șase. 6.
N-am emoții. 6.
Quinta. Bine, hai, 6, hai.
Quinta.
Queen.
6. Queen ball. So King Queen of spades.
2 de 6 ca să fie...
13 bigs? 13, 14 bigs?
Queen 6-6, it's okay.
9.
Going to be hard for Ian L. Anton to come back from this one.
Give me an 8 and a 10.
Loving the confidence. Loving
He's
the
a
attitude.
millionaire. Of course he's confident.
Maybe on the audience because on the turn it's no chance.
Let's see the turn
Trebuie să
card.
faci chestia aia, Riga.
Turn is the
Oh,
5 of
stop.
diamonds.
Give me the 8, please.
8. 8, baby.
Give him the 8.
8, sweetie.
If he doesn't get a date with an 8, he can certainly afford one with $1.35 million.
An 8 and I will going to win the tournament, believe me. 8, please.
No 8. And that is the end of Ian L. Anton's run in the PCA 2011 main event. Third place finisher, $1,350,000. And Galen Hall's crew are delighted to see him go heads up against Chris Oliver. And this was
Also
a heads up battle that took a long, long time. I imagine the edited highlights are only going to give us 7 or 8 hands, but it was more like 100, if not 200 hands.
I mean, look, these guys just both laddered up about $500,000, and they're playing for $500,000.
So what's that? 34 mil for Oliver, 12.5 mil for Galen Hall.
So fast. Should have kept the Romanian guy in. He was good for TV.
So are a couple of nerds.
Blinds 100,000, 200,000, and Galen Hall is going to raise with 8-4 off. Ace deuce for Chris Oliver. This is one of those hands that you may have seen before, ladies and gentlemen.
I have no recollection.
2, 3, 4, 5. The open-ended straight draw for Galen Hall. Chris Oliver with a pair of deuces and a straight draw of his own.
Galen bets 575,000.
Continuation bet of 575k from Galen Hall and the call from Chris Oliver.
Turn is the deuce of hearts.
Trip deuces for Chris Oliver. 9-1 favorite now.
And check from Galen. Players check. Let's see the river card.
Check, check, and Barry Greenstein makes another appearance. A full house for Chris Oliver, and Galen Hall has made his straight.
Oh my goodness.
Check from Chris.
Did you say this was a long heads up or it was one hand?
Long heads up.
Galen bets 2 million.
Although there was a reason why it took a long time, and we'll come to that after this hand.
Is it because most of the time was spent stacking and unstacking these chips?
Correct. So Galen Hall bets river, and there is the shove from Chris Oliver. It is all into call. What do you do with the wheel?
Call and lose?
I think a lot of people would answer that.
If I can be honest, call and lose. Fist pump call and lose.
That is a large bet.
Call, lose, troll Chris Oliver online for the rest of his life.
Galen Hall lays it down. Folds the straight to the full house. Survives. And yes, the reason why this was such an epic heads-up battle was not so much about the hands that were played and more about the time it took to count every bet. The players carefully stacking their chips, then splashing them into the middle, and the dealer having to constantly restack them to count them. I think Neil Johnson estimated that it added about an hour and a half to play. So over time, we see Chris Oliver increase his chip lead. 39 million near enough against Galen Hall's 7.5 million. 166 hands now played at this final table.
You ever played heads up for this much?
First and third Saturday of every month.
What's that?
No.
Oh, jokes.
I love the fact that it went completely over Chris Oliver's head. Galen Hall raising with queens.
It's just such a weird question to ask because almost no one has.
Okay, so both players with straight draws here. Galen Hall, obviously huge favorite with the better end of the straight. And, of course, the overpair to the board. Pair of sixes now for Chris Oliver.
Oliver's always got something. Granted, this time it's not the best hand, which is rare.
1.3 million. The card is the 9 of diamonds.
Board pairs on the river. Galen Hall's queen still good.
I hope whoever wins this tip the dealers really well. That is a lot of work to be counting these bets.
Very, very frustrating. Galen Hall shoves river for just shy of 6 million. Actually around 5.5 million.
Galen moves all in.
I call.
Oh my goodness, gets him to call.
Calls with a 6. And Galen Hall somehow gets the full double up to 16 million.
That could be it. That could be the thread.
Give it up, game. That's
The thread that unravels the entire rug.
That's his Pantaleo moment.
Yeah, that is the biggest pot we've seen Chris Oliver lose. The first all-in, I believe we've seen him lose the first time he's doubled somebody up.
So a few hands later, and Galen Hall is back around the 10 million mark. Blinds are now 150,000, 300,000.
Somebody's heating up a little.
It's getting hot in here. We're taking off our clothes.
Did Nelly play the party that year?
It's the previous year that Nelly was in the Bahamas. Remember we covered the charity event that he played in?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if he also was there in 2011 because I think that there were a couple of celebrities there that year as well. I remember making a joke in front of Adrian Grenier that completely bombed.
I can imagine it. Oh!
Oh, he's back.
Aces and deuces against 4s and deuces.
He's going to think he's back at least.
A bet of 675,000 from Galen Hall. This is where Chris Oliver thinks he can end it, right?
Yep. And why wouldn't he? Every other time this has happened, he's just won heaps of chips.
1,575,000. Galen.
Re-raise.
Total raise of 1.1 million and a total bet of 2,675,000.
You got like 3. You got more.
Two
black.
stacks of white.
2 stacks of white. So.
He's like, those are going to be mine, and those are going to be mine.
They've done a great job of cutting out all the time it took the poor dealers to stack and count those chips.
2.2 is a man, right?
2.2 total, yeah. He's raising another 1.1 million.
That's what we do, right?
Gold buttons on the left, Chris. I'm all in.
All in, re-raise.
All in and a call. 2 pair versus 2 pair. And this could be another double up for Galen Hall. Chris Oliver with 2 outs, looking for a 4.
12% chance it's over.
Running spades would work for him as well.
Lock it up.
And it is a spade on the turn. Chris Oliver now with 11 outs, and if he hits, he has won the 2011 PokerStars Caribbean Adventure main event. It's a blank. Aces and deuces hold, and Galen Hall doubles up to nearly 20 million.
So you said there's 60 million in play?
No, less than that, about 46.
All right, so Oliver still has a slight lead.
Yeah, Chris Oliver still with the advantage right now, but not the overwhelming lead that he once had.
Yeah, and that's just got to feel so horrific.
So frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Raised
So quiet.
750,000. Kings for Galen Hall.
Oh, boy.
There's the re-raise to 1.95 million.
4-3 total. 4-3 total. Chris says re-raise to 4.3 million total.
4-bet is to 4.3.
7.7.
The 5-bet is to 7.7.
I'm all in.
All in, re-raise.
All in and a call.
I got kings against ace-9 for Chris. Kings for Galen. Ace-9 for Chris.
Well, if kings hold here, Galen Hall is going to take the overwhelming chip advantage. If Chris Oliver can find an ace, and he has been running good throughout the PCA main, he's going to ship the trophy and the $2.3 million first prize.
You just got to run good one more time.
Flop is 8-3-7. 8 of hearts, 3.
Kings holding.
He's still leading with his kings.
I guess one backdoor, right? The straight backdoor.
It's the 4 of spades.
No more backdoors. Ace on the river required for Chris Oliver to win the PCA.
9.
Let's see the river card.
One time, using it right here, using one time.
No ace on the river. Galen Hall doubles up again, and this time it's for the chip lead. Now Chris Oliver is on the ropes.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Galen Hall has a 3-1 chip advantage now, Joe.
The old flippy floppy.
And okay, Chris Oliver gets a bit back, but it's still 36.5 million playing 10 million.
I guess you could say that hand was a bit of a hallmark for Galen.
Ace 8 of clubs for Hall. Blind still 150,000, 300,000. Raises to 600K. Chris Oliver has got queens.
Chris re-raises to 1.4 million.
The re-raises to 1.4 million.
I'm all in.
All in, re-raise.
Shove and a call.
Queens for Chris.
Now Chris Oliver gets it in good. Every other time he's been all in, though, he's not been at risk. He's had the chip lead. Now he needs queens to hold, and if Galen Hall can spike an ace, he's going to win the PCA.
One time?
Sudden death. Do or die.
An ace and an 8. The dead man's hand for Galen Hall. But Chris Oliver is looking like the dead man right now unless he can hit a queen on the turn or river.
Chris Oliver, the one who needs to be resurrected.
2 outs, 5% chance, a 95% chance that this is over and we have a champion. The river card is a king. Galen Hall is the winner.
Excellent heads-up match.
An epic heads-up battle. A dramatic change in the chip lead towards the end. Chris Oliver having that huge advantage through most of the late stages of this tournament. $1.8 million for second, but Galen Hall gets to lift the PCA main event trophy and gets the first prize of $2.3 million.
A Hall of Fame performance.
It was a fun one, right?
Really fun. The entire thing, the whole way through. I don't think I've ever seen anyone more disappointed to win $1.8 million before, though.
But you can understand it, though, right? When you had that massive chip lead for most of the last 2 days, you've been in command of that final table, command of that heads-up battle. You should have got that call, right, when you had the full house and your opponent had the straight, but you just can't quite close it out. You lose momentum, the change in the chip lead. I mean, yeah, it's only when you think about it a few days later and realize that you're $1.8 million richer that the pain starts to wear off a little bit.
Not only would I have lost momentum, I also would have lost my mind and probably lost 800,000 of that 1.8 million in the pit.
So that brings our coverage of the 2011 PCA to a conclusion. Tomorrow, we are going back to Europe. We are going to Berlin, to the German capital, for the next leg of the European Poker Tour as we continue our retrospective look at Season 7 of the EPT. I hope you've enjoyed the action today. Quick reminder that we did release a new episode of the Poker in the Ears podcast today. That dropped this afternoon, episode 197, featuring Matthew Dix, who recently wrote a piece for the PokerStars blog about how to tell a good bad beat story. It's an article worth reading, and it's an interview worth listening to. But as far as our streams are concerned, Retro returns with our look at EPT 7 Berlin from 2011 tomorrow evening at the usual time. That's 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UK time, 7:30 p.m. Central European time. But for now, from Joe Stapleton and me, James Hartigan, it's good night.